Yes, yes, yes. This is a Castworthy podcast, and we are back. VP just cussed me the fuck out because I started impromptu. Uh, 3-man gang, December 29th, Sunday. I'm Big Steve, aka Last of a Dying Breed, on the Twitter machine. Hello, my name's Steve on Instagram, joined by EJ, the Bourbon Ace on Instagram, and he just flies around everywhere else, lurking on the nudes on Twitter, and the VP again, self-proclaimed research king, uh, some Miami delegate or something on Twitter. Who knows? Like this guy just be changing his shit. Thinks he's something he's not. Anyway, it is December 29th. Final pod of 2024, episode 260. 260. We've been at it. And that doesn't even count the ones that we deleted or didn't post. But we've been at it. We've been to it. And gentlemen, how you been? How was the Xmas, the Christmas or Kwanzaa for you, VP? Or Hanukkah, rather. Sorry, Hanukkah. Because you do what you do.
Man. Christmas was good, man. We actually had a good time,
That's good.
So my niece a couple years ago, she was like, she didn't know what to get me for Christmas, and she excuse me, and so she wanted to get me something. So I opened up the gift, and it's a pack of AA batteries, right? And I'm like, what the fuck? And she was like, you never know you can use batteries, and I'm like, what the fuck do I need these batteries for or whatever? She's like, I wanted to get you something. And I'm like, you thought to get me batteries, So like fast forward a couple of months, she's at the crib one day and my wireless mouse, the battery dies. And so I call the wifey. I'm like, yo, bring me a battery. And she's like, you see, And then so ever since then, it's been like this running gag where every year she gets me batteries for Christmas or whatever. So now this year, she actually, she's been hurting a little bit, struggling, so she didn't even have the money to buy a bullshit gift with batteries.
Thanks, Joe.
So for me, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get her ass back this year or whatever. So they was over here for Thanksgiving. Her son left some of his toys or whatever. So we like wrapped them shits up and then wrapped them in bubble wrap, put them in a box, wrap the box, put that box in another box, wrap that or whatever. And then we addressed the box to her. So she's like, oh, I didn't even think I was getting anything this year. And so she opens it up and it's just these Legos that her son had left here or whatever. Thanksgiving, right? So that's my gag gift to her. I'm feeling like, yeah, I got her ass finally, So I go to open my gift from my other niece. I guess I didn't see her coming. So
open my beer.
Right, exactly. So I opened the gift and she gives me two gifts. One is a pack of batteries. So I'm like, what the fuck? I'm getting batteries from the other niece. But then I opened the second gift, which got some weight on it or whatever. I opened one flap. And as soon as I open the flap, I see the packaging inside and I'm like, what the fuck? And they all bust out laughing. It's a fucking package of MREs.
That's funny.
Like, yo, we were laughing our ass off. Yo, it was like we had a really good time, man. And then we do we also
expensive,
right? We also do a well, I think she got them from a food bank or whatever, but still, but then we also do like a white elephant gift exchange or whatever, and so we had bought TJ some cologne for Christmas from Ulta, and they was running a special where if you spend more than $50, you get a free robe. So we had bought them 2 colognes, so we got 2 free robes or whatever. So we were just gonna make that the robes are white elephant gift. So I'm sitting in the room and fucking like 2 days before Christmas, and Dick in the Box from SNL, it pops up on my YouTube or whatever. And so I love that song or whatever. Yeah, I watch it on YouTube all the time or whatever. So it like pops up like, hey, you want to watch this? And I'm like, yo, idea forms in my head. So I go on Amazon and I order a fucking dildo, right? And I do,
All right.
the 1 day shipping or whatever, so it gets here right before Christmas, and then we go to the thing and we print
Yo,
out
your algorithm about to be fucked up.
a fucking like a color photo from the Dick in the Box video with Justin Timberlake on SNL.
Mhm.
And so we put we leave it we leave the thing in its packaging, which the packaging is nondescript. It just has a rose on it. That's it, right? And then we wrap it, put it in the box, and then we put the photo on top. And so for our gift exchange, what we do it is that the gifts are just all sitting in one pile. We draw numbers, and then based on your number, you go in order to pick up the gift. You open, and then we start. My sister-in-law found a game online, like on how we're gonna do the gift stealing and shit like that. And
Yeah.
so we all open up the gifts to see what everybody got, so that way we can determine, what you want to steal and shit. And so my niece, the one who always gets me the batteries, by the way, all my nieces are 20 years plus for anybody listening in the audience. So
Before you talk about them opening up a dildo.
right.
It's important to get that out the way.
So my niece, the one who always
Disclaimer.
gives me the batteries, she gets that gift. And so we're just waiting or whatever. And so she opens and she pulls out the picture. She's like, "What is this?" And there's only like 4 of us in the room that actually are familiar with Dick in the Box. And everybody's like laughing. And she's like looking like, what is this? So at the very bottom of the box, in like the super fine print, it has a description of like what's in there. She's like, "Oh my God." It's so so then like, we do the game and like everybody's trying to avoid getting the dildo and shit. You know what I mean? And so at the end of the day, my niece who gave me the MREs, she ends up with the gift when everything was said and done. And she was like, "I'm gonna be regifting this or whatever." And so then we went in the room and got the robe, and it was still wrapped and stuff. And we was like, "Yo, because I told them when I was in the Marines and we did white elephants, it was always like gag gifts. It wasn't like real gifts. You know what I'm saying?" And so we was like, "Here go the actual gift or whatever." She opened it and it was the robe or whatever. So, but we had a good time, man. We had a good time.
And military can't take shit serious. What about you, EJ? How was your Christmas? I saw the family image up there, looking real festive, real
It's a good time. Good
demure.
time. Yeah, it's a good time. Good time.
On IG?
Yeah, the boy made it official. They Facebook real now.
Okay, I thought he posted a picture of the girls. I was gonna say I gotta go look. I don't think I've ever seen
He
the girls.
did. He did.
Oh, it's the official.
It's an official
God damn, you look shit.
Mm-hmm.
You would think the two guys been married forever.
I was looking at the picture and
I'm supportive. Congrats, my friend.
Yeah, it looks like the cover art for "Come Braid My Hair." What did you do for Christmas, yo?
Not much, man. Just gifts, Christmas breakfast and dinner, and good time. Kids got good stuff, and it's a good time. The old lady cooked, of course.
Which old lady?
Not my mother.
Because in the South, the old lady is
your mom.
Old lady.
In Miami, it's the old lady's your mom, right? VP.
No, we say old girl.
Old girl. Okay. And old boy is your dad, right?
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So old lady.
Okay. So the missus.
You know where they gotta be. Steve, barefoot and behind the stove.
Right. Because you got the vasectomy, so it can't be barefoot and pregnant. So.
Exactly. See,
right.
you with me? You tracking?
Right. And we got you a dishwasher and a washing machine, so the stove is the least you could do.
Assistance.
2025 is coming.
Brothers, it's revolutionary.
Good, man.
It's a good time. Good times.
Did you guys get good gifts? Good Christmas gifts, or was it like Father's Day? On Father's Day we be like, we don't get shit.
I got some decent. I got a nice hoodie that I've been eyeing for a while, and I got my traditional Hess truck that my mom has been getting me since forever. Yeah. So
That's cool.
even ones that came out long, like from the very beginning. So yeah, it
That's
was
cool.
some memorable stuff. It was good.
Yeah, I remember the Hess commercials, yo. The Hess truck is here. Like, so that's cool that
That
y'all
is
got that
not
going.
on the song,
They
man.
they still come out. You just don't notice them. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
they don't do the commercials no more.
No, they
I don't even
do. You just
do
you
they?
just don't notice them. It's like they do like one. It's like one per like every 2 weeks. Like
And you got to think, Steve. A lot of folks get their TV from streaming, so you probably not even seen the commercials. You know.
Mm,
Mhm.
mhm,
Yeah,
mhm.
that part. But they have them, and it's like because people are like, dang, you get hash trucks. I didn't even know they still make them. Like, yeah,
I didn't
absolutely.
even know Hess still had gas stations out there. I thought they was gone.
I think they got a
Uh,
couple.
there's a few.
But
Yeah.
I
There's a
guess
few.
probably more up north than down here. Down here is Wawa takeover.
Yeah, it's probably like you know how like every now and then you see a Circle K gas station. It's probably like that.
Oh, Hess actually owns Speedway.
Oh, there you
So
go.
when we
Just
see those
area.
Speedway gas stations we see down here, that's the Hess Corporation. I just Googled that. That's
Gotcha.
called research. BP. That is called research.
Oh, God.
See how quick
Well,
that
not to
worked?
go off topic, but Wawa. Not to go off topic, but Wawa been up here for a minute. They've been taking over everything for a minute up here.
When we
Yeah,
got them,
they've been
like a club
monopolizing.
opened up.
What'd you say?
I said when we got them down here, it was like the same vibe like when a new club or a new restaurant opens or whatever. Yo, you been to Wawa? Like, what the fuck is Wawa? Oh my god! Like people just ranting and raving about that shit. Like it was like like the spot. You know what I mean? And
Well, that's the new Wawa. Like back in the day, the old Wawas were like shit. When I was
Small.
when I lived in Bridgeport, we had like a little Wawa that was like the size of a little house. And man, they had the sandwiches was popping back then. Sandwiches was
Yeah.
banging
yeah.
and but now they're just so commercial, Now they do breakfast, they do everything, You get
Mhm.
everything.
Mhm.
All the
Steve,
crackheads hang out there though.
Steve, how was y'all Christmas over there? Y'all had some coquito?
Probably too much coquito. Um, it was good though. I got tipsy, chilled out. Aunt Deuce came through. It's her birthday and all that. So,
Indeed.
um, that's it, man. Did that, and then the NFL is taking over Christmas. So I had to watch football and basketball, and after the kid opened up his gifts and got tired of them within the first like 25 minutes, like. Do you realize we've been shopping since June for your little ass, and in 25 minutes you are talking about let's go to Target to get some cars? Like, ah, so
Kids.
That's
yeah,
how
man.
my nephew opened his gifts. We like everybody let him open his gifts first. And at first, he was like when he would rip through the paper, he would like look because he's thinking he's gonna get in trouble. So we're all acting exciting or whatever. Now he realized, okay, like this is what I'm supposed to do. And so he opens the first two gifts and they were like closed. And then when he opened the third gift, it was from us. We got him like one of those leapfrog like learning toys where you press the thing and it like tells him something or whatever.
Yeah.
Those toys are like crazy. Like we got that for TJ when he was a kid. And now with the one he got, this shit got Bluetooth. You connect it to your phone, program the kid's name and all. I'm like, God damn, yo. But
Hmm.
he got that shit and he didn't want to open nothing else. He just like playing like, yo, like you got more all these boxes over here, dude. Like, So he would open a new box and then go back to the damn leapfrog thing or whatever. So it was a lot getting him to just open his gifts because he just got infatuated with the one for a moment.
Yeah, that's how. I mean, especially the leapfrog joint. That one got the letters or the colors and
Mhm.
sounds and everything. So, but yeah, those toys are they've evolved. They have evolved with technology. But yeah, man, nothing too crazy. Some brunch, ate some turkey bacon, and and all the likes. But relaxing, man, relaxing. Maybe next year some destination ish. I don't know if destination's gonna work for Christmas next year because we might be in Europe for the first part of December.
Mm.
Uh, Depending on if I'm worried about the borders closing and me not being able to get back in this motherfucker.
you know.
Yeah.
Um, But yeah, man. Other than that, really just watching a lot of sports, yo. I can't get over how much they monopolized. Monopolized the holiday season in TV. They gave us the Christmas games. On Christmas, we had the Beyonce Bowl. The Beyonce Bowl. We got to see. There was a doubleheader on Christmas. It's crazy. The NFL. We talked about it last week and the week before. NFL did like 4 times the viewership as the NBA, and the NBA had 5 games while the NFL had 2. So maybe NBA got to think about supply and demand. Maybe not doing 5, maybe just give us 2 of the hottest teams or whatever. But that the NFL, I mean, we talked about it. They just killed it. But we had the Beyonce Bowl. We saw Mariah Carey open up. We saw all these other people. None of them really matter because Beyonce came out and did her big one. I feel like that was like a Super Bowl halftime show
Yeah,
in comparison to all the other shits that we've seen. Nobody else that does any type of halftime shows or opening shows or anything like that can do that. And she
yeah.
killed it.
You know what's crazy about the Beyonce joint is, I've never really heard any of the songs from the country album unless like they're the stuff that comes on the radio or something. You know what I mean?
Yes, he
Mhm.
did.
And so I'm listening, and I find myself like not liking it, but it's Beyonce. And so like I don't feel like the show was bad, at the same like it's this weird like dichotomy where I was entertained, but I didn't like what I saw. But I
Oh, I
still,
liked what I saw. I
yeah, I mean,
really liked what I saw.
I did
Shit.
too, but you get what I'm saying. I didn't like what I
I don't,
heard. I should put it that
I
way.
don't know how many kids she got, but them
That
things
that
to them eyes, boy. Them things is stanging.
VP, that's how I felt about her majority of her career. Like I don't always like what she's doing, but I feel compelled to like it.
Yeah, like it's crazy. Like it's like she's captured us or something. You know what I mean? Like, cause like I even remember
Trance.
that first album that Jay-Z produced for her when they first got together, that one with the Ring the Alarm and all that stuff on it. I
Mm-hmm.
hate that fucking album, but I used to listen to it all the time or whatever. And then it's like it grew on me or something, even though I never liked it or whatever.
So
So
you didn't hate it. You didn't hate it. You liked it. She
yeah,
you know what it is, yo? She's just a performer, yo. She is a showman. When you watch Beyonce, like, and it's been forever, like, anytime you see her perform, every time you saw her on award shows, like if you've seen her live, I'm sure you could talk to, your wife or your sister-in-law, because I know they've seen her live. Um, she isn't just an absolute showman. She doesn't half step it. She doesn't get lazy. She ensures that everybody that shows up is getting their money's worth when she performs. And it's always been like she hasn't gotten lazy ever. You never see her do the, oh, okay, well, I'm just gonna stand here and sing. Like she was line dancing
yeah.
like and didn't miss beat. Like that's the crazy part. She line dancing and didn't miss beat, and then she did,
Even
she
when she
brought
was
out
pregnant at the VMAs, remember? She was still up there dancing and stuff.
hmm
A little bit more
and
restrained, but still performing.
for the age at this point, for her, for having the children at this point, for all of that, just in general, for her to still be able to get up there and perform and sound good and not have to lip sync and not have to take breaks and let her background singers or dancers do everything. Like it's remarkable, man. Beyonce is one of the best performers I think of our time that we've ever seen. For me, I know for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. Hell yeah.
Maybe not the top, but definitely up there. And of course, with a strong black woman doing something good comes hate. So we've seen throughout the week, and actually before, we can't even say throughout the week, like she wasn't even done. She was still performing, and the hate tweets started to go up. Like, what do y'all think was the basis of the hate?
She's black.
I mean, is there anything else that needs to be said? She's
And
black.
if you need a secondary reason, like a
She's
like
a
a
woman,
one A and a 1B, she's a she.
right?
She is a she. At least they haven't started calling, trying to make her out to be a guy like they've done Michelle, Michelle Obama. That is. I think yeah, it's black. I think that EJ.
No, I
You
mean,
know,
and we were gonna we said this, I think, some time ago, man, and it's crazy because I don't know. Listen, to all of those big podcasters, those big personalities out there, if you're listening to us, just give us credit sometimes, man. We know we're the little guys. We know we're not household names, but it's like when we say stuff, it's like people really come maybe a year later or whatever it is, and they say it. But I remember when we were saying at some point the NFL's got to get back to its white lineup, right? The Bon Jovis, the Aerosmiths. And I think, part of that, part of the other two things that we talked about is that they're kind of tired of our blackness being up there.
Yeah,
They're
you gotta have it
racist
in
and they're like, I
rotation.
need some whites.
Yeah, you got to do it. You got to do like a rotation where it's like, okay, like my problem with all that stuff was like, we had like multiple years in a row after the Janet Jackson Timberlake fiasco, where it was like Sting, and then the Eagles and Guns N' Roses and stuff like that, and I'm like, yo, like black people watch football too, right? You know what I'm saying? And so, but then after that, it was like nonstop, Beyonce, Prince, Dre and Snoop and all of them, and Kendrick this year, Rihanna, et cetera, et cetera. And those artists are great. I love the shows, but they got to understand they have a huge white audience too. Their white audience is probably bigger than their black audience. And
Hmm.
so you have to rotate that stuff and bring. So okay, this year we got Kendrick. Next year, make it, you know, I was gonna say Taylor Swift, but they probably can't. It'll be too controversial. You know what I mean? But an artist like that is what I'm saying. Katy Perry or something. You know what I mean? And then the next year you do, whoever, and then you go back to another like artist for white people or whatever.
it's crazy because y'all are talking like that, and this ain't even the Super Bowl. This is just a Christmas Day halftime show type of joint. I agree with you guys. It is because she's black. It is because she's a woman. The underlying reason why she's gotten this amount of hate, though, like the piece that you guys are forgetting, mostly, what is it?
Appropriation.
Jay-Z.
She endorsed Kamala Harris.
Kamala.
Come on. Look, we can say her name however we want now. She ain't the president.
Oh,
uh, she endorsed her, right? So think of the base that type of music targets, right? When she came out with her cowboy or her cowboy
Country
or
album.
country album, first
Mhm.
people, there were people out there that were naysayers like, oh, she doesn't belong there. We don't want this, whatever, right? But they weren't like, oh, she needs to go back to where she came from. Like you didn't see that shit. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
This is a prominent artist. This isn't like I get it when like they didn't even do it to Shabuzi. Like they've actually embraced him, but they did it to what's the gay dude EJ? He was the devil or some shit. In one of it,
Oh,
Lil Nas
Nas.
X,
Little
Lil
Nas.
Nas X. So they accepted him for a short amount of time, and then they kind of shunned him off. They wouldn't give him any awards. They shunned Shabuzi for awards. They shunned Beyonce for awards. The only one that they've kind of taken a liking to, which is a DEI thing, is Hootie from Hootie and the Blowfish. You know what I mean? And that's their go-to. Like, oh, what do you mean? We're not racist. We accepted Hootie. Like that's
Well, they didn't
that.
accept him. They didn't accept him back then either.
Right.
Well, he didn't. Yeah, yeah. Um, but I think that's her thing, right? Like, if Beyonce had stayed neutral, or if she had endorsed MAGA, right? Highly unlikely, clearly. But had she done that, they would have been like, this is the greatest country star ever. And who would have thought from a black woman? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it would have been
Yeah.
a whole different outlook. It's crazy how impactful the politics are. Like, I'm looking at the way that they're attacking her, it's not there. Nobody is saying, "Oh, she didn't sound good." You know what I'm saying? It's one thing if you get up here and you're like, "Yo, she sounded bad. She tripped. She stumbled. She was lazy. She was winded. You know, she didn't dance." They just like, she doesn't belong here. This the whole Forrest Gump fucking bus scene.
Yeah.
Can't sit here. Like, that's the reality of it.
No, I think that's a great point, and I think I mean you're saying what we're saying too, but adding on, but I think that's a great point, and for folks um in that line of thinking, for them it's what's that saying, like, good for thee, not for me, or something like that. I forget how it goes, but
I don't know. I'm black.
but it's essentially what I mean by that is that they essentially go on the basis of the people that we like. When they like Kid Rock, for example, he endorses Trump, he's MAGA, that's fine. But if you're somebody and you have your political beliefs, if your political beliefs aren't mine, then you're wrong, and you shouldn't have any support in it. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
it's freedom of speech and all this stuff they claim to believe in only for them. And then when you exercise your freedom of speech to endorse a candidate or to believe the things that you believe, then you're the devil and you need to be deported and you hate America and you need to be kicked out of the country and go back to where you came from and all that other BS or whatever. You see what I'm saying? That's what I mean. And that's essentially like the whole like MAGA ideology or whatever. You know what I mean? Because LeBron does something political, shut up and dribble. Bosa does it, he's the guy. You know what I mean? And Kaepernick does something political, shut up and dribble. Bosa does it, nothing to see here or whatever. And that's essentially their whole philosophy, is that when it's on our side, it's right. And if anybody else does it, it's wrong. They need to shut up. They shouldn't be, they got to stay out of politics, just do music, just play basketball, just be an actor or whatever your field is. You have no right to be commenting on these things unless you're commenting saying that you support us in MAGA and shit like that,
If we
Yeah,
wanted your opinion, we'd ask for it. Type
and
shit.
on
Right.
and on the cultural sense too, when you're talking about Beyonce crossing over into the country world, although historically the genre, was made from black folks, right? Um, they've adopted it as their southern flag, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but black folks, mentioning Kid Rock, we've accepted people like him into our culture, and once we accept somebody, we give them a pass and we let them live, and
Mm-hmm.
they're not accepting of when we try to go to their spaces, I guess. And to VP's point, when you do something that isn't of their favor, they're not gonna forgive you for it. Whereas, Kid Rock today, I think we've been able to see what his true colors are and expose him. But I don't think he still is getting enough hate as he should from the community that accepted him and made him a millionaire in his taking and adopting our culture and profiting from it. So I
Right.
mean, I definitely agree with y'all.
And
Miley Cyrus.
I got a better example for you with Beyonce, Post Malone, right? He comes
Post
in,
Malone.
basically appropriates our culture, build up a career fan base, and then he switches, and most black people are like, I mean, I don't really fuck the country, but let him cook, you know.
Hmm.
Whereas
Hmm.
when it's our folks who do that, like do the opposite, they're like, oh, get him out of here. What the fuck? Boo, 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 so
Yep. There's no room for that in country. There's no
mhm,
room for that. And look at her. She's got her daughter up there. What is this? I mean, like, are we really talking, like, we've seen Billy Ray Cyrus and Miley Cyrus. Like,
mhm,
you've accepted that.
right,
But
Hmm.
but Blue Ivy and Beyonce are a problem. Blue Ivy, who performed really well up there for a 12-year-old girl. Blue Ivy, who is in the box office right now, is being a voice in The Lion King. Like, you have a problem with this person being up there, but you don't have a problem with a white singer's daughter
right.
or son being up
And then
there.
in Hollywood, the entertainment business in general, I mean, nepotism is, runs You know, I
The
mean, like
the
Waters,
Baldwin
you
family,
know, like exactly. You know what I
the
mean? And
Sheen
so
family.
to make it seem like you're upset about nepotism is insane, you know, given that I mean, I saw a thing years ago that said, when I was in college, that said something like 60 to 65% of Americans have their job because of
I
a
think it's
connection.
higher
Like,
than that. I think it's higher than
whether
that.
it might maybe, you know, whether it was like familial or through a friend or whatever, you know, some kind of nepotism.
Mhm.
And in the entertainment, it like so let's say it was 75% for just America in general. In the entertainment industry, it's probably like 85, 90%. You know what I mean? All these people who are connected to somebody else who get these opportunities or whatever. And you know, is it right? Is it wrong? You know, that's not for me to say. But for them to be upset about Beyonce, who is a billionaire global megastar, putting her daughter on, you know, when all these other people who aren't even on Beyonce's level have done the same, like you got to miss me with that bullshit.
It's the American way. I mean, we could look at sports ownership, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying, and the passing of the torch from generation to generation, and even how they acquire these teams, you know, having the money from their rich billionaire father, and they then become billionaires. And yeah, I mean, it's the American way. But again, like I always come on here and say, we as a people gotta continue to remember, no matter what status or level we have achieved in this country, it's still never going to be enough to forego the fact that we're black.
Trick Daddy. You still a you still a nigga. And that one
Still a
song he
nigga.
made, America, was what instead of CA, it said KKKA. You know, you got 4 degrees and a PhD, you still a nigga. If your skin is brown just like me, you still a nigga. Got a promotion and a fat ass raise, you still a nigga. You from the islands and your people wasn't slaves, you a nigga. No matter how much your ass get paid, you a nigga. Shot
Why
by
do
the
you know
at a
this song?
traffic stop because you a nigga.
Why do you know this song?
Because that's Trick, dog. Come on, man. What are you talking about? Come on, dog. Hey, put some respect on Trick Daddy, dog. Don't
Trick,
You-
go.
trick Daddy
Usually,
Dallas.
usually when you hear somebody talk about "Still Nigga," they talking about the Jay-Z song, not
No,
the Trick Daddy song.
come on, dog.
You Southern, yo, you Southern twang dudes, yo. Y'all just
I'm
be
from
like,
Miami, dog. You gotta put some respect on Trick, dog.
I
Trick
love,
Daddy Dallas.
I love seeing Beyonce up there. The I loved having football on Christmas. I loved it. I do think the NBA feels like the NFL is kind of kicking their door in, and clearly because at the last game, LeBron was out there. He balled out. Him and Steph, they put on a show, and it was almost like they knew. It was almost like Silver called. It was like, yo,
Yeah,
y'all closing out the night. Ain't nothing on. Like they're gonna be done with their games by the time y'all start. I need y'all to do something, and they
yeah,
they balled
And,
out.
and realistically, this could be the last time that we see those two guys go at it like this.
yeah.
At that
Absolutely.
level, yeah. At that level. And then Braun says, in the post game, I love the NFL, but Christmas is our holiday. Like
Yeah,
the fact that he had to say that makes me feel like they feel that they feel that pressure from the NFL. And then fast forward, right? Christmas was what, Wednesday. Turn
hmm,
around on Thursday, they still had a game. They wasn't like, nah, we're gonna skip Thursday. They gave us a Thursday game.
yeah,
Friday comes, then they like, you know what? Here's sprinkle some more Saturday game on it. They give us 3 games on Saturday, and now here we are on our normal Sunday, and we got more games. And hey, spoiler alert, we still get our Monday night game.
mm,
Like the NBA or the NFL just kidnapped this whole last week and a half of the year, and
Not to mention,
it's
not to
crazy.
mention, these are games that we didn't have years ago. At some point, these are
yeah,
the season continues to get longer.
yeah.
Hmm.
But, the thing too for me is that like we've had football on Thanksgiving like forever. We had basketball on Christmas or whatever.
Right.
And it just feels like like people talk about like how we've the commercialization of Christmas, where it's just a big thing to boost corporate profits and shit like that. And to some extent that's true, But at the same time, it's like each year we're getting further away from our families on the holidays because they're becoming, like people, you go to Thanksgiving dinner and you're trying to get a plate at 2 so you can go camp outside of Best Buy to buy a TV or whatever, and then they kind of got that squared away to where you can shop online and all these kind of things like
Mhm.
that, Black Friday deals. So it's like, okay, I can go back home with my family. But now, all these sports are on and shit like that or whatever. And I mean, and in some households, maybe the sports are on in the background and everybody's sitting together eating, playing cards or whatever. But I'm pretty sure there are lots of households where it's just the football happening and less like family stuff. You know what I mean? Like for us, we had the game on, but we weren't really watching it because we were sitting around. We were doing our white elephant gift exchange, and then after that, we were playing games and different things like that. You know what I mean? So we were just like vibing, and the game was just kind of background noise or whatever. Um, but I'm pretty sure there's plenty of families out there where it's like the game is the event, and the family shit is like, yeah, I mean, we don't really do it no more. So
Well, depending on the family, the game is the family thing, because going back to my memories of Connecticut and with Steve, the game was his dad, you know, m- his dad, me, and his kind of thing. And at some point they would do the cards and the all of that kind of stuff. But for me, the game was the family thing, and that was kind of my exposure to the sport. And I have all girls, so only one of them is really into sports in
mhm,
a spectator way. So I mean, we try to make it a thing for us too. But I get your point, and I think every family, I guess, depending on the size and tradition, because you see little fans out there when they go to the games and stuff. So I mean, I get you, and I think like you said, it could be the family makeup and the dynamic of things. Um, but yeah, you're right about that them squaring it away online, because saw a dude sitting outside and they were talking to him on the news, and they were like, bro, you could have just got this online. He's like, nah. He's like, nah, I don't trust that. I like to get in the store bright and early. So I mean, I thought that was funny in how we were years ago to now,
yeah.
in that
I've
aspect.
I've never done that. Like my wife went one night to buy some shit at was it Walmart? I think it was Target. She was trying to get. She went like Target at like 11 o'clock at night or whatever. I'm like, man, you got me fucked up.
I've done it.
Steve has
I've
done
done
it
it.
for
I've
sure.
done it on multiple occasions. Um, but the thing too is, you know, with the NFL, you're getting the Lions every year on Thanksgiving. You're getting the Cowboys every year on Thanksgiving. Then you're, for the most part, getting another NFC team or AFC team rather, in the evening on Thanksgiving. They can, flex something in there. But I think the feel for Christmas now, if they don't give it to like Kansas City or give it to like Baltimore, and you just say, hey, this is always going to be random teams, and we're going to make the schedule at the beginning of the year for these games, then it gives a different sense of, what were you, just like family time. So like if it's a Miami game, right, then VPU and yours will be, on Christmas, like, yo, we got to watch Miami, the game is at 4, let's get the food ready, let's get our gifts open, you know what I'm saying? If it's
Yeah,
a New York game, similarly, if it's a Vegas game, whatever, right? I think that's, to your point, that's the spirit of it will bring some people together. I think more so than basketball, because while people are fans of basketball, I don't think you have super fans of basketball. I mean, you do, but not as many like football. Like when you're true to football and you're a fan of football, you're gonna sit down and watch your team if they're on, especially if it's on a one-off day. You know what I mean? And you can be home to
yeah.
do it.
I mean, we've said. I think that you're right, and I would like for them to have it some kind of rotation instead of it always just being like the Chiefs and the Ravens or whatever. Because I
Hmm.
don't like that about Thanksgiving with the Cowboys and the Lions, especially those years where the Lions were bad, and so you get like the Lions and Green Bay or whatever, and it's like, okay, I'm tired of seeing Green Bay beat up on the Lions, on Thanksgiving because this team is complete dog shit. So I would
Hmm.
like to have some kind of rotation to where maybe they look who was good last year, who do we think's going to be good next year? Okay, let's put them on Christmas or whatever. And that might end up being the Chiefs a lot of times, given how that team is currently constructed. But maybe 1 year it's the Chiefs, another year it's Buffalo, 1 year it's the Cowboys, maybe it's the Eagles, maybe it's the Rams, whoever, you know what I'm saying? But like, let's have some kind of rotation to where it's not just monopolized by one team. But um the other thing I was going to say too, to your point about like NFL fandom versus NBA fandom, and we've said this before on the pod. We point that it's kind of a supply and demand thing. There's only 17 games in football, and so it creates like this, like I gotta watch it because this thing is only going to be here for a little bit of time and it's gone. Whereas the season's 3 months long, 3-4 months, depending on if you make the postseason or whatever. And then it's gone. Whereas the NBA is on for like 6-7 months. They play 82 games. All these things are happening. So it's like, okay, the heat is on, but like, I'm doing something. So I'll check the highlights on ESPN.
Yeah,
and now
they're probably gonna play tomorrow anyway.
Yeah, and then they post all the highlights on YouTube now, so you can literally go watch a 12-minute YouTube video and get a sense of how the game went or whatever without having watched it or whatever. And I'm pretty sure they do the same probably in baseball, which is even more games, 162, 180, something like that. What is it? Baseball
162.
106. Okay, yeah, 162 games or whatever. So it's like, oh, the Marlins are on. Catch them on time. So because I mean they're gonna play 160 of these things. What's it gonna matter if I miss this one? Whereas in the NFL is like,
Yeah.
miss this one. I just like a 3-game suspension. It's like 20% of the season. You know what I'm saying?
Every game counts. Every game
Yeah.
is weighted that much more, and the level of competition. And I mean, we've talked about this ad nauseum. The level of competition when you got only 16, 17 games, and everything counts, and it's as violent as a sport as it is for football. They ain't taking no plays off.
Right.
Whereas in basketball, we've talked about this. There are no rivalries. There isn't any, hatred on the court anymore. So where it's like, oh, Magic versus Bird, somebody gonna get punched in the face. Kevin McHale going tackle James Worthy. It might go down. It might be, malice in the palace on the court. So like the Knicks played Orlando the other day, and I'm like, damn, this is a high ass scoring game, and I ain't watch it, but I'm like, I know they'll play him again. I mean, it ain't no real defense being played. Tibbs gonna play his guys 60 minutes out of 40. You know what I mean? Nothing to see here until February, and let's hope that the Knicks are healthy at this point. So yeah, I mean, we've said this so many times. Me and Steve have said it last week. Like they've got to figure something out to make this game more worth our while, to have more of the passion. Just even when it was on NBC, just even the opening, the music, what I mean, was different. It's just like they gotta figure something out. And I think Steve has been right, and Steve has been on Adam Silver's head about this. He's got to do something. He's getting his back kicked in, man. I mean, the viewership on Christmas was insane. The disparity in viewers from the NFL to not disparity, the difference from the viewership from the NFL to the NBA is just incredible. And that Knicks game, being at 12, I thought it would be even higher, but I don't know. And then you got to think it's the Spurs. I mean, and people don't really know too much about Wemby per se. They know about him, but it's still the Spurs. I mean, if any other team that they might have had on Christmas is usually the Knicks, Celtics on Christmas. So I don't know, where they
Wemby
went
went
with
crazy
that.
too.
But yeah, Wemby had 42 and they still lost.
Yeah, they did.
But yeah, I don't know.
So, how do you guys feel about the corporate greed aspect of the NFL? Because they're starting to put these games behind the paywalls. Like, I hear people like, "Oh, you got to get paid subscription to watch these games." And again, they're going to have this year. There's going to be an Amazon Prime playoff game. Like last year, it was on Peacock, I want to say, or Paramount, one or the other. And then this year, they're going to have it on Prime. They've already had the Thursday games on Prime. They did the Netflix thing. Like, how do you guys feel about that? Do you have a problem with that?
I have a problem with it, and I think that it's also, I think that it kind of it's almost like the NFL is helping the rest of corporate America of corporate America squeeze Americans more, because you've had people who say, I can't deal with cable, so we had this whole trend of cord cutting, right? And I'm not sure if that is still ongoing. I know it's probably not as prevalent as it was before. I'm not sure if it slowed down or even stopped or whatever. But you had that whole thing happening with cord cutting, and then it was like, okay, here's these alternatives to cable that are cheaper, and then those things have these prices that it's almost like they're trying to get you in the door, and then as time goes on, you're paying just as much for that as you were paying for cable, for streaming. And now everything is so segmented where it's like, okay, I got the one thing that lets me watch TV through, like YouTube TV, for example, that gives me all the channels. But then at the same time, now this thing that I want to watch is only on Peacock, even though I have NBC in my YouTube TV package. This specific thing is on Peacock. This specific thing is
Mm-hmm.
on Amazon Prime. This is on Netflix. This is on like YouTube Plus or whatever. And I just have regular YouTube TV or whatever. And then this thing is on that or whatever. And so now you got to have 15 different subscriptions to be able to watch everything. And then those 15 subscriptions are more than you were paying for fucking cable. And so it's nasty work, man. And then on top of that, they go a step further to then use your IP address to kind of put a geo fence on you to say your computer where you're streaming from is located here, therefore you can't watch these things, like Sunday Ticket, for example. I paid for Sunday Ticket, and it's like, oh, TJ, or whatever, for him, he don't got a TV in his room in college, so we bought the Sunday Ticket so he can watch the games. And it was like, oh, this Dolphins game when they played, I can't remember who it was a couple of weeks ago, but we had a game that was on nationally or whatever, and he couldn't watch it at school because, oh, it was the no, I can't remember, it don't matter, but we had one of the games on that was on nationally, and he couldn't watch it because he was at school and he uses Sunday Ticket, but because the game was on TV everywhere, he couldn't get it on Sunday Ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, what the fuck's the point of paying for when we watch games?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're absolutely right about that piece, and that's why I'm happy Steve put me on to the thing that he put me on to. But I don't know, man. It's par for the
Allegedly.
course. It's par for the course, and I guess the NFL's logic is, man. I mean, what are you gonna do? It's like Jordans, right? It's like we know these sneakers really shouldn't be this high, right? They're a lot of times they're not comfortable. They're not good for everyday use. But when you got the demand, people and they want them, people gonna do what they gotta do to get them. So the NFL is like, yo, we know you want this. Come get this by any means necessary, and you gonna do
Th-
it.
This
But
crack.
this also brings us back to the topic that we discussed the last time that we had the whole crew here, when we talked about the United Healthcare CEO situation, right? And I said on that pod, I'm actually surprised that this hadn't happened, earlier. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because keep having these corporations, what regardless of the industry that they're in, squeezing us more and more and more. And there's a reason why in like entertainment, you always have this thing where like the peasants with their pitchforks at the gates or whatever, when people saying, yo, no more, I can't take any more of this shit. And it seems like they just haven't found a spot to where they say, you know what, maybe we're taking too much from the little people. Maybe we need to dial it back a second. And they don't think that way. They think of just, how do we get even more from them? You know what I mean? And it's gonna get to a point to where people get fed up with this shit, and they're gonna be storming the gates and all these kind of things or whatever.
But that's the problem. We haven't stormed the gates yet. People continue to keep diving into the dope. They keep going back for more, no matter how toxic and bad for their health it is. They keep getting some more.
The thing about it is, it's not just the NFL. Like, I know I asked about the NFL. I mean, as far as Var's point of cord cutters now having to get multiple things, it was gonna happen anyway, right? The cheap prices on the streaming products was entry level, just like anything else. You get your cell phone, you get a one,
9.99.
yeah, you get a 1 year, whatever program, and then it goes up. You get anything, it's like that, and so it was inevitable that each company was going to find out that if I do direct to consumer, then I can capitalize more versus just giving all of my content to this third party, a cable company, and letting them push it out there, right? And so that's why now you see the Peacock, the uh the Paramounts, you see the people now partnering with Netflix. Apple TV is absolutely killing it. Amazon came out with their thing, right? So it was inevitable to happen. And now I think it's to the point where the consumer has to realize that it's not cheaper to cut the cord, right? And it's not cheaper because, one, in order to cut the cord, you have to have internet. And most of your internet is going to come from that ISP service provider who's also providing cable in your area. So why not bundle with them and try to get that discount, right? The other side of it, though, is from an NFL standpoint. The NFL probably has to look at, or was looking at, in the streaming era, right? Like what EJ was talking about, the program that he has, nobody's getting any of that, right? Nobody corporate is getting any of that, right? Comcast isn't getting any of that. Spectrum's not getting any of that. The big dogs are not getting any of it. And so there's no return to the NFL for EJ stream on that service. There's no return to the NFL on my stream if I'm using it, or VP your stream, and so on. However many streams are being missed there. So now you go to Netflix, you partner with these other groups, and sure, you're still going to have the EJs of the world, but you're going to have the me's of the world and the you's of the world who are actually going to be paying for these services, and then they can get kickback based on a stream, right? Where before you were just getting whatever your kickback was for your viewership on TV, and everyone that was streaming, you weren't getting shit for it. Now the NFL is getting kickback on that. The NBA is getting kickback on it. So I could see it, right? I could see the reason behind it for the NFL. Do I like it? Maybe not so much. I don't have a problem with it because I have all of them, because I don't pay for cable. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I paid for cable, I wouldn't have them, or I would have all of them and wouldn't have cable, one or the other. But I don't have a problem with it because I have Netflix, I have Paramount, I have Peacock, but also those things are now bundled with my cable. They come with my cable. You know what I mean? If I was a paying subscriber, I would get those things anyway, right? And so as a cable company, they're getting smarter too, to say, let's build these partnerships with Paramount so that if they do a playoff game, guess what? You already have Paramount through us because you have service with us. You have Peacock through us because you have service with us. You have Max through us because you have service with us. So you can stream all of that stuff.
But
Right. I get your.
it goes back to that old crab legs theory, right? Like, why do you get crab legs, and why are you getting crab legs and you got food stamps? You know what I mean? So it's like the NFL looks at it like, yo, we're a high value product. If you're a fan, you can afford to be a fan, right? They don't care, to the larger underlying point. They don't care that you can't afford it. It's just the same way that, old Dolphins fans grew up being Dolphins fans when the tickets were cheap, and now it costs you $300 to see your
Yeah,
team,
it's crazy how
or the
expensive that.
Jets teams, or the Jets fans. Like, we've gone to games this year twice. We're paying 260 or whatever it is to watch this bullshit product, but they don't care because they know at the end of the day we'll be back. If we really want to have the crab legs, we're going to sacrifice for it, and we're going to do it, right? If not, then you'll just not see your team. That's the NFL right now. Shut up and buy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that both of you guys are right, but and then also for the ISPs, I think part of the problem too is that their I don't know if it would be called like their profit model is what I'm trying to say. It's like screwed up because they do everything in a bundle where it's like take it or leave it, and
Mhm.
so instead of letting me pick the channels I want, when I get a cable package, I don't need the 180 channels that come with it. I don't watch 100 or whatever comes in the bundle, right?
Mhm.
Like I'm not gonna watch the Christian Broadcasting Network. What do I need that for? You know what I'm saying? So
Maybe you should.
you know, and like I don't watch Lifetime or the Hallmark Channel and you know channels like that or whatever, but they force you to take all of these channels, and each of these channels cost a certain, some of it is, you know, 10 cents a month in part of your bill. ESPN might be $7 part of your bill. Fox, I don't watch Fox. You know what I'm saying? So like I watch Fox, like the channel where the football games come on, or the Simpsons or whatever, but I'm not gonna watch Fox News and Fox Business and all those other channels. You know what I mean? So why not let me pick
You
and
watch
choose
Fox Sports?
what I want, and then
You watch Fox
Yeah.
Sports?
No,
You need to see them things. Yes, you do.
I watch Fox Sports on YouTube. The stuff
Bitch. Go ahead.
but um but yeah, you know what I mean, but like
Like
why
you don't
not
be
let me
going to Joy Taylor every day.
pick and choose the channels that I want, and then you say, okay, this is the cost for like our base service, right? So like just as a base to have our thing, it's, you know, let's call it $39.99, and then you added on these 37 channels or whatever, and this is how much they cost. So now your bill is $75 a month or whatever the number would be. You know what I mean? So my bill 75. If Steve paid for cable, you know, he may want a few more channels. His bill's 87. You know, EJ's bill's only 63 because he wanted even less channels than I have or whatever. You see what I'm saying? So why not let people do it like that instead of charging everybody for all these channels that they don't want? Like there's some old lady sitting in Jacksonville who needs enough channels to watch, you know, The Price is Right, Hallmark movies, Lifetime, watch her stories during the week, you know, and Wheel of Fortune at night, and that's enough for her, you know. But she got to have ESPN, the ACC network, the SEC network, you know, all this shit that she don't watch. And so for her, she's like, yeah, I'm just not gonna get cable, so I don't watch TV at all because I can't afford it, you know.
And not to mention those ISPs, they make you sign the life contracts. It's like, okay, you know, now it's gonna go up every $15 until you die, you know, like whereas the other stuff, okay, you know, we'll lock in this price with you for a year, and if you don't want it, you can cancel at any time. With the cable, is like, all right, you got your phone, your internet, and to VP's point, you gotta have the Big Ten, you gotta have all of this stuff. And I don't watch all of that. And now you're gonna drive the price up every single year for the same thing. Then the service is bad, then there's nothing I can do. Then you charging me per box, and then you charging me per DVR, and
Right.
you know, all of this stuff. It's not flexible.
Yeah. It makes it hard to be a consumer, where it seems like you're trying to just nickel and dime me for every single thing. And then some of the stuff that you're nickel and dime me for is stuff that I don't even want, that you're forcing me to have or whatever, you know?
Let me play devil's advocate real quick. I don't want to get
Sure you
too
would.
deep. I don't want to get too deep into it because then I might give away my hidden identity. But how often do you watch TV?
Me?
Hmm.
I don't watch as much TV as I did. So, you know,
How
let's
often does
call it
how often does someone in your household watch TV?
every day.
Okay. How often does someone in your household use the internet?
Every day.
How much throughout the day do they use the internet?
All day. I mean, I work from home, so that's
Probably
8 hours.
99% of your
Yeah.
existence at home
Let's
depends
do,
on the internet, right?
yeah, let's call it like 15 hours a day of internet.
Okay.
Because I do
So
sleep.
so in a month there's what, 30 days in a month?
Some have 31, but for the most part.
So let's just say the top end of a cable and internet bill bundled together is $300 a month. Would you say that your livelihood is worth $10 a day for your entertainment, for your ability to go to work, your ability to pay your bills, your ability to look up the news, your ability to follow social media? Would you say that that's worth $10 a day?
I mean, my livelihood depends on it. I mean, not the TV portion, the internet portion for sure.
Okay, that's all. That's all. Because I mean, there's a that it could go into a deep hole. I don't want to beat the horse, but that's the conversation that I have with people when they say, "Oh, it's so expensive." And don't get me wrong, maybe I feel that way because I don't pay for it. I haven't paid for it in 12 years. You know what I mean? But when I put it into perspective, but I do, but if I put it into perspective, and 300 is the top end. Like you have to have everything to be at 300. You're not going to be at 300 just for, what you were talking about, which is 180 channels and your internet. For that, you're talking about maybe 150. So you're really talking about $5 a day. $5 a day, you spend that on a coffee every morning. You spend that on, you know, parking depending on where you live. You spend that on something stupid, whereas $5 a day translates to you having, the ability to pay your bills online and not have to pay the late fees, not have to call in and pay the fee to do that. Your ability to go out there and seek information, to be the research king on a podcast. Your ability to go follow politics 24/7, or however, whatever your frequency is. Your ability to look at porn. Your ability, like, all of this is $5 a day we're talking about, right? And people just don't put it into that perspective. So again, I get it. It's expensive and people are getting paid heavily for these. These networks are getting paid significant. It's really not only the ISP, it's the networks that are coming to the table. And you see these, you see when, they hit you up and they're like, yo, we're about to lose stars. It's not because the ISP or the provider is like, yo, we don't want to give stars and we want to charge people more. It's because stars is coming and saying, yo,
Yeah.
50
Cost of
just
goods went up.
commanded. Yeah, 50 just commanded this because power blew up and we got this other show that just blew up. Hey, yesterday's price ain't today's price. And so
Yeah.
now the provider, do they eat it? Do they pass it on a little bit, right? And so bargaining table, all of that stuff. But it is what it is. There's two sides of that coin, and I think there's right answers on both sides. Like, I agree with you from a consumer standpoint, but I also understand the other side of it.
I think that everything that you said is very compelling, and I don't think that you're wrong in anything that you said. But I think the point that you make about, like, how important is this thing to your daily life, and would you pay, this small nominal amount for that convenience or having this service or whatever that you're saying is so important to you. But I think you have to also, the thing the part that you don't see about it, which you admitted, that is the fact that you don't pay for it, is what EJ is saying, right? So, like, you get the package and it's $150 and you're like, okay, it's $5 a day, that's fine. I need this kind of thing for my livelihood, for my, to kind of, forget about the world for a second when I'm watching my shows or whatever, reality TV, whatever it is that you watch. So that's fine, right? But then, to EJ's point, where they come and say, okay, hey, the price of the bricks going up because stars cost more now, or ESPN wants to give Stephen A. Smith a pay raise, so we got to raise the price of ESPN, and we're passing it on to the consumer, which gets back to my point of me being a subscriber to you, and you're making me pay more for shit that I don't even watch. So Stars is charging you more, and I don't watch Stars. ESPN is charging you more. To go back to the example of that grandma who only watches her stories, The Price is Right, Jeopardy, and like the local news. You know what I mean? And so you're charging her all this
He just
money.
named my mother. He just named my mother.
Both of our mothers. My mom be hitting me up every day like, yo, this shit went up. Yo, dog.
Yo, you name every single thing that she watches. Yo.
Like, dog. First of all, y'all get the good parking. Y'all get discounts at fucking Denny's, all that shit. You could pay a little extra for your internet. And
but for
you
that
said
person,
the main word, which is convenience, right? You don't got to write checks anymore. You don't got to track those checks anymore. If you were like, when I lived up north, I remember years ago actually going into, pay a bill, going to the cable company, or going into the light company to pay the bill in person, because I didn't want to pay, the upcharge to pay it over the phone, or the upcharge to pay it, via mail or whatever, or I'm late because I didn't get paid. Like, all that stuff is convenience, man. And
no, you're right, but I think we have to segment internet versus TV versus cable. Because all that stuff you're saying on the internet side with the convenience of not having to leave your home to pay a bill, you can order food. You literally can do anything from your home. There's not much you have. I mean, shit, you don't have to leave your house to go to the doctor anymore. I told you guys, I don't have a problem.
Virtual visit.
Stuff. From me having to sit in my wheelchair all the time, I have a pressure wound on my bottom, and I went
That's
to the
just because you're full of shit.
I went to the doc and they saw me. And then for the follow-up, she was like, do you want to come back? She just needs to look at it again to see how it's progressing. You want to come back in? Do you want to do a virtual? Like, how do we do a virtual? She was like, well, if you have the ability to stand.
Dog. Did you?
Or she said, you could take like a video on your phone so I can see it.
Yo, your doctor's a freak. Yo, your doctor just had you do a cam show.
Turn around.
Yo, let me
Yes,
find out.
turn around.
VP sitting over there on Chatterbait. He about to make an OnlyFans for his doctor.
Yo, she recording it, yo. Oh, yo. Oh,
But to my point though, is like, even for doctor's visit, you don't have to leave your home. You know what I mean? You can do almost anything. I would probably say, with the exception of like diagnostic testing or surgery, there's probably almost nothing that you can't do from home because of the internet. So the price of that is, it's just the cost of doing business. But on the TV side, if Beyonce or Taylor Swift raises the ticket price for their concert, I don't have to go to their concerts. You know what I mean? But if there's this thing I want to do, which is, have TV, like we talked about, with the stories, Price is Right, etc. But you're saying, hey, if you want to watch the Price is Right, you got to also pay for ESPN. And I don't think that's fair to the consumer.
Yeah. Or you just gotta stream it.
Yo,
because you're paying for internet anyway.
that shit was hilarious.
Dog, I can't believe. Like, I've done virtual visits before, like, and I just tell the doctor, like, yo, my throat hurt, I need something. They don't be like, yo, open your mouth wide, turn your camera on, let me take a look down that throat.
I mean, I have a wound. She has to look
Let me
at
see
it.
let me see what that mouth do.
Turn around. Let me see that. I didn't get it.
She like, now spread them.
Yo. That was wild.
Yo,
that was wild.
you a nasty boy. You a nasty boy. The shit you be doing at home. Ooh, I tell you.
Oh man.
Yeah, I just the NFL going behind paywall for a playoff game and all these other things. I don't know if it's genius. I don't know if it's going to end up starting to cost them in the long run.
I think in the long run it's going to be a problem because I mean we people have said the cost of watching TV is a problem, like through cord cutting, and so now you're just doing it a different way, and now you're talking about, like, before, regardless of what team you like, when it was playoff times, all the playoffs games were televised nationally. You know what I'm saying? So it don't matter where you lived, you got to see it. Whether it was your team, if you're just a football fan, you got to see it. And now they're saying, depending on who's playing, you're gonna have to pay to see this. You got to pay more to watch it or whatever. And you're gonna have some people who like, yeah, I'm not doing that. One, if it was my team, sure, I'll get the stream. You know what I mean? But like, do I really need to see, the Rams play against, whoever? I could miss that one.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
But then you have people like E who be like, and be like, I ain't paying for no damn Paramount to watch this damn game, right? And what's Paramount gonna be? $10 for a month, right? But then he'd be like, but I'm gonna go out to the bar and watch this shit. Spend $70. Like, these are the choices we make as people. And,
Right.
and we, you know what I mean? Like, we'll pay for what we want to, but then we complain about the other stuff, like, and I've started to notice that a lot in my daily life for myself and other people that are around me that be doing that shit. Like, that is so expensive. Like, that's expensive, but the shit that you
Here's where it washes out, Steven, and it just depends on which way it washes. Because for every E, there's me, who I'm like, I ain't paying for that shit, and I'm also ain't going out to watch it. So I'm just not gonna
right,
see it. You know what I'm
right.
saying?
You
So
celebrate
how
Hanukkah.
many oh my god. So how many E's are there versus how many me's are there? And that's the breakdown for them to see, where,
But
where
then
the
there's the third category of the how many people are out there that are going to pay for it. So it's the E who's going to go out and pay for it and spend money somewhere else and bring money to Buffalo Wild Wings or wherever. It's the U that's going to be like, nah, I'm going to just stay home on my phone and watch whatever and, get my updates from my chat. And then there's the people that are actually going to pay for it. And the people that they're targeting are those people that are going to pay. Like someone that thinks about, all right, I'm going to pay $10 for it. I'm paying $10 to watch this game, but I got it for a month. So I'm going to go and I'm going to stream whatever's on Paramount or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go. I got endless TV for a month of shows that I probably have never seen or whatever that are specific to that provider. But yeah, I do agree with you though. In the long run, I think it becomes a problem because
It's not. I don't think it does. I don't think it does. Because again, it's one of those things where it's like, as a people, where we should be irate and we should, rage against the machine, we love it. And those of us that love it, we find a way.
but you
you don't
have
you
you
don't you
have
don't subscribe.
companies you have companies like who me and VP have service through who are now bundling these streaming packages with everything, right? So coming in January, our provider is going to provide Max, Paramount, Peacock, and all of this stuff, right? So now that uh NFL and Peacock or the NFL and Paramount contract is not going to be, demanding or returning as much on the investment because you're going to have X amount of subscribers that are with our service provider who are now getting it through them, right? So we're now paying them for it versus paying directly to Peacock for it or Paramount or whoever. You know what I'm saying? So I think long run, I think the NFL is going to have to shift gears back to or or they're going to go back to that initial. Remember when they had their streaming where NFL had, the NFL app where you could get NFL Sunday Ticket through their app also for that
Mhm.
1 year. And I just don't think that I don't think their DTC was up to par. So their servers weren't strong. They didn't have the right people with them. They may end up having to partner with someone, and that might be something they're working on right now. Right? We're seeing more, more and more Amazon. We just saw Netflix. That was a trial. We saw Paramount last year. We're not seeing them again this year. I'm wondering if they're looking for who's that best partner, and then the NFL might partner directly. They got YouTube for the for the ticket. But they may end up partnering with someone directly and just saying, "Yo, you can only get NFL through X provider now." Like, and that would really fuck the market up.
I hear what you're saying, Steve, and I think you make good points, but I think EJ is hitting the nail on the head because what we're talking about here with the cable providers, we wouldn't accept this shit in any other facet of our life. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
imagine if your water
But
company said,
you do. When's the last time you walked into a restaurant and you were like, 14.99? I think I should only pay 12.99 for that steak. Right?
No,
You've
but I
never
mean,
done that.
there's
that's not
people.
what I mean.
Yeah, there's people like you who like, nah, I'm cooking at home, and they don't never go out.
Right. So because exactly, you can cook, you can go to the grocery store and cook your own food at home or whatever, right? But like imagine if your water company said, hey, this is the charge for the base water that you get the water, you got to boil it or whatever. Oh, you want fluoride? That's an upcharge. Oh, you want the water to be filtered so it's drinkable? Yeah, that's an upcharge. Oh, you want the water to not have contaminants so you can shower in it? That's an upcharge. You know what I mean? And then you go from a water bill of like $40 for base, and you're up to $100 to add all the normal things that we have in water. Like nobody would accept that.
I
You
would
know what
pay
I'm saying?
for it because I buy bottled water. Because
No,
I won't drink the dirty faucet water here in Florida. You
but
know what
I'm
I'm
saying
saying? Like,
my
again, these are conveniences and these are choices that people make. You don't have to have it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to have cable. It's a choice. You said the same thing with I'll choose to cook at home. I won't go to a restaurant. It's the same thing with cable, the same thing with internet. You choose to have that. Why? Because it's the convenience, because it's something you want. But if you want something, you're complaining about that, but you won't complain about going out to the bar and saying, damn, y'all charging $8 for a shot. Fuck it, let me get around. You know what I'm saying? Like
But
nobody's saying, yo, can I get this shot for $6? Oh, this
well,
this shot was $5 yesterday. Can I get it?
well,
You know what I mean?
there are people that do that, and I'm not gonna name who they are, but because you know them and I know them. But but
Exactly, Randy. Thank you.
you're speaking exactly
Florida faucet water.
to the point though. You shout out to my boy Randy. You're speaking exactly to the point though. It's like you know that this is the product you want. You can't get it anywhere else. It's not like you can pay for smart water versus Dasani, right?
Right.
Smart water is $4. Dasani might be $1. This is the NFL. It's one source. It's one product. It's one way they're gonna slice it to you.
Yo, you're nasty for
You
drinking Dasani too.
no, I'm just saying. I mean, again, it's better than tap water
That's
though,
why you be
right?
shitting so much. That's why your stomach always fucked up, because you drink Dasani.
It's
Just
better
drink the
than
fucking
tap water
faucet
though,
water,
right?
yo.
No, I mean, but my point is, water, you have multiple choices, you have multiple options. The NFL is like, yo, we are the only game in town. Y'all don't even like that other round ball shit that's going on, right? Y'all don't, yeah,
Right.
they giving y'all 5 of those. We got 2. And you see what we got. They got bullshit down the way.
That's blue
You know what I mean?
magic. That's
We
blue
got the
magic.
blue magic.
That's what it is.
I guarantee
You
it.
call it whatever you want. Just don't. You can step on it. You call it blue dog shit if you
That's
want.
it.
Just don't call it blue magic.
That's it.
But
I'm telling you. So we know
But
where the best product is. We gonna pay the fare.
right.
because we like violence, yo. Humans like
And again, I
violence.
like I said, we what we're talking about with the cable providers or whatever, we
Dasani
wouldn't
is worse than
accept that.
faucet water. Shit is terrible.
We wouldn't accept that in any other facet of our life. Like imagine like your electric company is like, yo, here go to base electricity. Just turn the lights on. But if you want to add a fridge onto the thing, that's gonna upcharge. You want AC? Upcharge. Because that, you know what I mean? Like we wouldn't accept that anywhere in our lives to say we have to keep getting nickel and dime to get just like basic service or whatever,
You know what's crazy? You're already paying that. It's just not itemized. You're just not getting an itemized bill. With cable, you're looking at it as an itemized bill. This package that you're getting for 149 is all inclusive, right? Your electricity is all inclusive, but guess what? Your your electricity is also how you use it. So
Yeah,
if you don't
pay
use your
per
dryer,
kilowatt hour.
right? So if you don't use your dryer, then you won't be billed for it. So for cable, you don't want it. If you don't need it, cancel it.
No, that's not correct. Because if I have cable, I have
I'm in a
me
contract.
as a person who's an atheist, I have to have the Christian Broadcasting Network. I don't want
VP's
it.
not VP's not in contract. I can tell you that for sure.
Yeah, I'm not. But if I had cable, I have to have Christian Broadcasting.
You don't. You
I
don't.
have to have
If
Fox
you
News.
choose the package that comes with it, then yes, you do have to have it. But if you don't choose that package, then no, you don't. But you want ESPN. You're not okay with only having local broadcasting. You know what I'm saying? You can get local broadcasting for $39.99 or something like that. But that ain't enough for you because you don't want to just watch ABC. You got to see Joy Taylor's titties.
No, I'm fine with adding in some of the other channels, but I'm saying like, there's certain shit that I just don't need. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't need Bravo, but I got to pay for Bravo.
Again, the overall point is, right, we can watch entertainment what we like, and you can find it in different ways. You can get it in different ways, but there's only one NFL. And if you want it, you gotta pay for it, or go to the stadiums, or go to the bars. Either way, you gotta pay for that.
The well, I want to talk about Hall of Fame, but before we do that, uh VP, you can bring that up because I have it on my phone somewhere, but I don't have the exact. The Shador. How do you guys feel about Shador wearing New York Giants cleats? How do you guys feel about that? He said
You
earlier in the week. He said earlier in the week. Let me give the backstory real quick. Early in the week, he's on a well, first we saw last week. He was in New York. He was playing catch with Malik Neighbors just outside, chilling, whatever. That made news. Then earlier this week, he says, I already know where I'm going. The cleats will tell you, you'll see it. You know what I mean? Fast forward yesterday, he had New York Giants colored cleats with the New York Giant logo on it. Like the color as I get, but with the actual Giants logo on it. How do you guys feel about that?
I mean, I'm okay with it from this standpoint. Is at the end when you enter the draft, you can go anywhere, right? And so part of it is a marketing campaign to basically say, I want to go here for whatever his reasoning is, right? Because all 32 teams have a shot at him, like theoretically, even though, really only like
Right.
2 or 3 teams actually have a chance of landing him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's him telling the teams like a who's up there
Vegas.
with like telling Vegas, like, I don't want to play for you. You know what I mean? So the teams that have a legit shot at drafting me, I don't want to play for you. So don't come up to get me or whatever. Now, yeah, obviously we know you call his name, he's gonna stand up and go on the stage, whatever. But it was the same thing with Eli Manning and Archie Manning telling the Chargers, we don't want to go there. So don't do it. You know what I'm saying? And then they drafted him, and we know everything got worked out in the background with the trade to the Giants, et cetera, et cetera. But I think that you have Shador, he's essentially doing business. Is for me, I don't want to play in Vegas for whatever his reasoning is. And so let me advertise what it is that I want to try to manifest that into happening. You know what I'm saying?
And VP is spot on. There's no other way to look at it. I mean, he in the NCAA, he's, his eligibility is what it is. He's done there. It's over with. He's on a national stage. The bowl game don't mean nothing. This game don't mean nothing. It's the last place for him to showcase something. And it's a smart business move. To VP's point, it's doing exactly what you should do. Try to control your own narrative in the draft. These teams, I don't feel sorry for them in any way or shape or form. They're gonna do what they want to do one way or the other. And I have zero problems with it. He's advertising to New York. This is where I want to be. I told you guys before. I think he would go there. I think Dion, quiet as kept, is probably going to try to work some way into some type of stronghold there. I could see it happening. I don't know that the Mara family will really buy into it, but then again, after seeing how they allowed Saquon and this new GM to do things, I'm starting to think a little differently that maybe they are more invested on the money and the attention. So I mean, having Shador and then possibly making a way for Prime in New York, I'm telling you, man, the money there is gonna be incredible. And so I have no problem with it, man. Rumble, black man, rumble, go get your money, go to the team in the market that you want to be at. But if you do come to New York, just realize this ain't Colorado, this ain't
Exactly. This
Jackson,
ain't Texas.
this ain't
Woo!
Texas. It's gonna be a pressure cooker for you, my boy.
But
But hey,
also,
why not?
and also, like, to the point that EJ just made, right? When you survey the landscape and the teams that have a legit shot at you, like the Giants, like if you're looking at just Giants in Vegas, they sent their number one receiver to the Jets. They don't have a quarterback. The coach looks like he's probably going to be let go or whatever. So you have this team that's in flux. You have people saying that it's very likely that my boy Max Crosby requests a trade in the offseason. So you have a team that's basically in a rebuild, and you're like, do I want to go there and tie myself to this franchise where I might not be put in a situation where I can win, and then 4 years down the road I'm called a bust and I'm out of the NFL. I'm Sam Darnold, essentially, right? I'm Baker Mayfield. You know what I mean? Or because Baker Mayfield is actually the better comparison, right? Where I'm seen as the guy, I go to a shit franchise who doesn't really do anything, which I would argue Cleveland tried. It's just for whatever reason didn't work. But we don't do anything, and then next thing you know, I'm a journeyman. You know what I'm saying? Or do I go to a franchise that it seems like they have a solid core, and the problem is they need a quarterback. I mean, I get it. You're a Cowboys fan or whatever, but I mean, they got neighbors. They tried to build up the O line in the offseason. They
Am I the only
Exactly.
one here that
Exactly.
remembers what they did with Saquon Barkley? Am I the only one here that watched fucking Hard
no,
Knocks?
I remember
I
it, but
No, you
I,
get
I
that.
would never want to go to that team after seeing what they did with Barkley.
I hear what you're
But
saying,
any
but
that's any NFL team, damn near. That's
right,
damn near any
I
NFL
hear what
team.
Saquon
you're saying.
Barkley.
But when you look at the situation, like if you compare, if you're doing apples to apples comparison of what Vegas has now versus what the Giants have now, and then what they can also do in the draft, offseason, etc., the Giants are a better situation. They have more stable coaching. They have a more solid defense. They've done work on the O line. They've done work at receiver. They need a quarterback and maybe another running back or something like that or whatever. But the team is more of a ready-made situation to plug and play essentially. Whereas the Raiders are a project. And if you're a young rookie quarterback, do you want to go to a team that's a project and then end up being Bryce Young or Anthony Richardson or some of these other guys who are in this, they're in this plane that's being built while it's already 30,000 feet in the air?
Yeah, and that's a phenomenal point. The Giants, call them whatever you want, they at least attempted to invest in this O line, a veteran O line that, when healthy, is one of the best in the league on paper, at least in performance. And if you look at a team like the
Y'all just be
Jets,
talking.
you look like
Sometimes y'all just be talking.
you look at a team like the
Now,
Jets that
see,
we
take
have.
the Cowboys hat off for a second and just like let's be analysts here.
You're telling
Yeah,
no.
you look
I'm
at a
not.
team.
I'm not
You
saying
look
the
at a
Giants
team
aren't
like the
trying. What I'm saying is that y'all are using some power words like the greatest O line in the league when they're healthy.
Nobody
Like
said
that's
no one
not.
great.
no one said that.
You just said that.
I said
I
they're
didn't
one of
say
the
that.
best on paper. I said they could be one of the best on paper if healthy. Nobody said the greatest. What are you talking about?
I
You
said
just
they've
said
made
they're the best
investments
O
in the O
line
line.
in the league
I
when
said
they're
they could
healthy.
be one of the best. One of the best. And
Oh,
that's a far better situation than what he has in Vegas. You have a veteran O-line that they've been around, and when they're healthy, they're gonna be way better than anything in Vegas. And then you look at a team like the Jets across the way, right? That has a 3 running back situation. Brees Hall don't look like it's working
I'd
out.
rather go to the Jets than the
We
Giants.
we we can move Brees Hall to the Giants. You got another guy that could do things that catch out the backfield. You're one piece away over there. You got neighbors. They draft Shador. They get another pick in the second round for offense. Their defense is solid enough.
You're
That's a
right,
way
Steve.
better situation.
You're
You
right,
think
Steve.
the
I would rather
Giants?
go.
You think the Giants are closer to winning than the Jets today?
No, I think the Jets are closer, but the Jets don't have a realistic shot at Shador just
They
because of the
do.
way the draft order is going to shake out.
No,
They
we don't.
do.
No,
We
we
don't. You don't
don't.
know how the draft order is going to shake out. Have you looked at the standing?
And
Or
and and, fur-
you
and
guys just
furthermore,
talking off the top of your head?
we're not
Okay, I'll
lined
pull it
up
up right
to.
now.
Furthermore, that don't even do it. It's irrelevant because furthermore, we're not in a position to draft the Shador because we have an Aaron Rodgers problem. He's going to cost us $40 million
Aaron
on
Rodgers
the
is not
front
going to be a
end.
Jet next year.
Okay,
He's not going to be a Jet next year.
even if that is the case, and I think I want that to be the case, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I think they're
That's
going
the
to bring
case,
him back. I think they're going to bring him
Okay,
back. I hope they don't.
if the season ended today,
but it doesn't.
no, but I'm just saying. But here's the thing, right? There's two more games left. The
Hmm.
Giants are in the catbird seat with only 2 wins. The Jets have 4 wins. The Jets are currently in the 8th spot for the draft order. So the Giants would have to lose, or I'm sorry, the Jets would have to lose out, and the Giants would have to win their last 2 games, which is probably not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? And then you got the
And we
Patriots,
still.
Patriots, Jacksonville, Tennessee, Cleveland, and Vegas, all with 3 wins. So it's
Tennessee
the
needs a
Jets.
quarterback.
But my point is though, is just for when we talk about Jets Giants, the Jets aren't gonna be able to move up high enough to get Shador. Shador is not gonna fall past. I don't think Shador, if he's not the number 1 overall pick, he doesn't fall past 3. That's as low as he goes is 3. And the Jets aren't gonna be there
The
at 3
Jets play Buffalo
because
today. The Jets are going to lose.
they're gonna lose.
We mess around, beat Buffalo because Josh Allen might not play for real. He might not play as tough because they
No,
already got their seed locked up, right?
Right,
Josh
that too.
Allen. Josh Allen's playing because Baltimore could catch them and take the 2 seed. So
He's
Josh
gonna
Allen's
play. He's gonna play, but I don't know how thoroughly he's gonna play because that it's an in conference game.
So they won the
Again,
division, but we're talking about 2 seed versus
3
three
seed.
seed, right? And so yeah, there's a difference there. There's a difference in that.
Yeah, but again, the Jets have an Aaron Rodgers problem, and whether
Right.
you think he's coming back or not, he's gonna cost them. And is this a franchise that goes and gets a Shador that has been dog shit in developing every quarterback they've ever tried to develop? No, they're leaning on probably bringing Rodgers back and then finding someone else later in the draft that
I
they
don't
could
even think it's
develop.
lean. I think they're bringing him back. I mean, if you
I
like,
hope not.
me and
They're
my
not
son talked about this.
they're not
Here's the
bringing
reality.
Rodgers back because Rodgers said he doesn't want to be there.
He
So
did
why
not
Here,
would
say
you
that.
bring back? Why
He
would
did
he?
not say that.
here's the reality, right? Here's the
He did
reality.
not say that.
The quarterback availability in the draft is very limited. The free agent quarterbacks are just as limited, which means you're going to see a lot of teams holding pat and kind of treading water. The ones who are in a need situation. I think there's what I think there was like 6 quarterbacks that people considered to be the top, and 2 of them are staying in school, and only 4 are coming out of the 6 that people thought were first round picks. You know what I'm saying? Now, can you go get a guy in the second, third round? Sure, but that doesn't always pan out. There isn't a Dak in every draft. There isn't a Tom Brady in every draft. You know what I'm saying? Russell Wilson, et cetera, these later round QBs or whatever. Jalen Hurts, people thought he was a first round quarterback, but he fell for whatever reason to the second. So I guess you can throw him in there too, right? But for the quarterbacks that people consider to be the top guys, there were 6. 2 are staying in school for their 5th year. 4 are coming out. So you got a limit there. Your free agents are Sam Darnold, Kirk Cousins, and I'm not sure who else, but that market is also just as limited. And so again, like I said earlier, I think a lot of teams are going to have to kind of hold pat, chill out for a little bit, and survey the landscape for next draft or maybe potentially a trade or something like that. And that's why I see Rodgers likely coming back to the Jets.
So I would rather play for the Jets. That's the point. If I was Shador, I also going back to the original question. I don't have a problem with him saying, "You guys are talking about want." I don't have a problem with him saying, "I want to play for the Giants." I do have a problem with him coming out and saying, I am playing for the Giants. I know where I'm going, and it's going to be the Giants." That to me is tampering. That to me means that there needs to be some conversations had. They need to be looked into. That like all of that is everything that we've seen in the past. There's no difference to that tampering than you've seen with Miami, with anybody else that's been hit with it, in my opinion.
Well, tampering doesn't extend to the draft. That there's no parameters for that. These guys who are going 1, 2, and 3, they usually talk to the same circles of people to where the teams might not officially be saying it to them on paper. They have enough knowledge from agents, from all of these people that know things to say, hey, the Raiders are going to skip on you. And if you're there, the Giants are going to take you. And I mean, it's pretty much a done deal. I mean, shit, for all we know, to your point a little bit, Steve, for all we know, he can be there for the Giants, and some genius or whatever happens decides he's not going to go there. We've seen Vince Young talk about it recently, how someone, I forget what team it was, that called him and said, yo, we're going to take you, and then they pivoted at the very last minute and did something else. So we never know. I mean, if anything at all, this stunt of him wearing the cleats, and they don't take him, may make him look crazy, but it is what it is. I don't think it's no
Yeah.
harm, no foul.
And
If he
and
want to go
and
to the Giants, he better hope they lose out because they got the Colts today, and then they should lose next week. I think they got Philly, but that's a game where Philly might not play their players. So
yeah,
like there's
I really don't know what's up with Jalen Hurts.
yeah, and the Titans are 3-12. The Titans got the Texans next week who are playing for the playoffs, and this week the Titans have
The Titans can likely beat Houston, the Houston that we're seeing right now.
Yeah, but I
the
mean,
Titans have the Jags this week. So it's
at the end of
possible
the
the
day,
Titans lose out too.
yeah, at the end of the day, though, the point overall is that, yeah, I would rather go to the Jets than the Giants if you gave me just those 2 options. But the Jets won't be an option just because of the amount of games they've already won and what's happening these last 2 weeks in the broader NFL. But to Shador in terms of tampering, I look at it like, I think you have a point, Steve, but I look at it the way I look at, like, I remember when I first learned of LeBron when he was in high school, and his high school games were on TV, and they showed him pulling up to the game in a Hummer. This 17-year-old kid with no job driving a $70,000 vehicle or whatever, and I'm like, the fuck? We like, it's got, like, we know what the deal is. You know what I'm saying? It's like one of those cost of doing business things. We know, the NFL knows, everybody knows, and we just pretend it's not happening. You know what I'm saying?
Again,
I
yeah,
would.
And
it's
this may be the
nothing.
thing for you because you're a Cowboys fan, so it's NFC East. So it's like, oh, the
Yeah,
Giants
it's heat.
doing this thing
It's
or whatever.
heat.
I don't like it. Whereas if this shit was happening with the Titans, you probably wouldn't even notice it.
Wouldn't
I would
care.
ask the same question. I would ask the same question. Anyway, also don't count Cleveland out. I know that they said, oh, we're gonna stick with what's his face, Massage Boy, but to get a quarterback on a rookie deal, right?
Yeah.
I would rather have that than have to pay somebody to be a backup in case
But
what's his face gets hurt again.
that's where your point to Shador and the business sense is a little bit, in his favor. Because again, bringing up the Manning situation, I'm telling you, I don't want to go to a Cleveland. I'm telling you, I don't. You sure you can draft me, but you're gonna have an issue on your hand.
So
I'm
what are
not
you
gonna
gonna do?
sign
Not
a
show up?
contract. Yeah,
Let's play that
Well, I
out. Let's
mean,
play that out.
no, he's not gonna not do it because if you don't show up, you got to sit out for a year, and I don't think that's good to do.
maybe
Like, when you
not.
saw that, yeah. So
It's-
so
You
you got
can't
If you're
you
Cleveland,
can't
but
not show up, especially when you're not lights out. Like Shador is good, but we're talking about him
very
like
true.
he is absolute top tier. Like a lot of people don't even think that he should be a number one pick. A lot of people are talking about Cam as a number one pick.
I'm one of
but
And
those.
but
I'm one of
Steve,
those.
Eli did that, and we didn't think that he was top tier at the time.
no, I agree with you. And he wasn't. He's not top tier. We're gonna get into
Right?
But
that
again,
in a
it's
minute.
it's not about holding out. It's again, if you're Cleveland, to your point, Steven, you're saying I want a rookie quarterback. You want him for a long time, and this guy will basically be telling you, you're not going to get me for a long time. I'm going to get on the
Yeah.
field this year, and I'm going to play contract hardball to get out this first year or do whatever I need to do. And why waste your time if you're a
No,
Cleveland
no,
and you
you're gonna be a 5 year you're gonna be a 5 year man fucking with me. If I
no,
draft you
you
number
got to
one
agree to
overall,
that. You got to
no.
agree to that. That's my
No, right.
point.
But what EJ is saying, Steve, is that okay? You
Are you
draft.
saying he won't sign his rookie deal?
No, he'll
Yeah.
sign it. But like, here's the thing, right? You draft. I'm telling you, I don't want to come to Cleveland. You draft me anyway. Okay,
Mhm.
boom. I come out there. I do the press conference, the rookie little press conference or whatever. And then all this stuff is leaking out, social media, whatever, of me hinting, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. Now we get into contract negotiations. Now we know that contract negotiations aren't what they used to be in the early to mid 2000s, where you had rookies going crazy. The deals are kind of predetermined, but there is some negotiation in terms of like the bonus money, how much of it's paid up front, etc.
Length of contract.
So then the length is for a first round pick. It's a 4-year contract, team option for the fifth. So all that stuff is set in stone. It's just the negotiating part is like about the bonus money, how much of it is guaranteed, how much of it is paid out earlier in the contract versus later, et cetera, et cetera. That's where these negotiations come in with these rookie deals for these first round picks, right?
Yo,
But he can extend that out and make it hard. And then while the talks are being extended, that means he's not at OTAs, he's not at mini camp, he's not showing up for regular camp, he's not ready for the preseason, etc. And he's doing all of this saying essentially, it's not that I don't want to sign, I don't want to sign here. So I'm gonna make your life hell
do
to
you
try
think
to.
that's in his best interest?
It
Who do you
depends.
think
It,
who do
it
you think
would.
gets hurt more in
Why
that
would a team
situation?
why would a team again, here's the thing. Why
Why would
would a
you put yourself in
team
that
knowing that? Why would you put yourself through that when you have to make your team, you have to think about the future of your team. I can go get me, I can go forego Shador and go get a journeyman quarterback, do whatever, and then really get a generational left tackle or whatever else I need, show my fan base that I really care about the future versus I'm gonna just be stubborn and just take a guy that I know doesn't want me.
right?
That doesn't make sense.
Or we can keep losing. Like if that's the case, like if I really want them, and I'm not saying that Cleveland wants him, I'm saying if I'm Cleveland and I want Shador, I'm taking Shador. Whether you say you want to play for the Giant, I don't care who you say you want to play for. Here's the thing: we got to take entitlement out of sports. This whole shit, like same thing with Bronny. The fuck Bronny don't play away games because he don't want to fucking travel on a bus. What? We got Shador saying, "Oh, well, I want to go to the Giants," and he hasn't said this. This is y'all saying that he's saying this by saying that he put on the Giants cleats. Whatever, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt that he's saying that. But if that's what he's saying, you gotta take that shit out of sports, dog. You, if
It's
I
not the
draft you,
same.
if I draft you and you don't show up, then we got a problem.
It's
And
not
here's
the
the problem.
same.
Here's the problem. You're gonna sign or you're not gonna sign. If you don't sign, then like VP said, you're gonna sit out a year. And if you do sign and you don't show up and you don't play the way you're supposed to, I got you under contract. I'm gonna make this a real fucked up situation for you. Like,
Again, it's not the same. It's a business investment. Why
mhm.
would you invest in a business model that you know isn't going to work for you long term? It's a waste of your time. It's a waste of his time. I get what you're saying, and on the front end of saying, yo, you go where you drafted, but it's a little bit more at stake when you're talking about what quarterbacks make, how important it is for them to be happy, how important it is for them to play, and how important it is for your fan base to accept the pick that you've taken. The Cleveland Browns are in no position to do something like that and
who's gonna
have this.
put more money in their pockets?
They're not worried about that. They're worried about
Cleveland
trying to
don't
get
even
better.
like their quarterback. Cleveland is out there talking
But,
shit to their quarterback for like Cleveland was out there clapping when he got hurt. Like
but Steve,
the fans.
you gotta
And
also
that's all the more reason why you can't get it wrong this time. So you
right.
don't draft a kid who doesn't want to be there. You just fucked it up with the massage guy. We bought into this
And
guy and it was a
longer than that,
failed product.
Cleveland has been fucking it up for about 15 years. They drafted Baker, that didn't work out. You brought in Deshaun,
Johnny
that
Manziel.
Johnny Manziel, you know what I mean? It's been failure after failure after failure. And now you have a guy who's saying, I don't want to play here. You know what I'm saying? And you're saying, oh no, fuck that. We're the NFL. We're Cleveland, but you gonna come here because we said it's not gonna work, dog.
But he
Like
didn't say I want to play there. You guys are
no,
saying that's what he
he's not
means.
saying I don't want to play there, but he's telling you I
There I
want
want to
to play
play.
here,
So
which means I don't want to play there.
my point to you is he going to show up if he's drafted by another team?
I think he will. I mean, at the end of the day, he has.
No, you don't think
But
he will. He will. He
I-
will. You think his father's going to let him? You think Deion Sanders is going to allow Shador Sanders to get drafted to the NFL and make a mockery of that last name? He's going to
so
play.
I think here's
He's
the thing.
going to play.
You and EJ have said this multiple times on this pod. We're talking about $1 billion business, right? And they take a risk anytime they draft a player. You have a player who's saying, I don't want to go there. I don't want to be there. Are they going to risk, well, we draft him. Will he actually sit out? Will he be, why take that risk when
Why
you can
do
do
that?
something else?
It makes
You know
no
what I'm saying?
sense. They interview a number of guys that they want to take first round, and there are guys that sit in front of them and say, "Yeah, hey, listen, if you take me, you're gonna get the best me I can be for the 4
Right.
years. I'm gonna be a legendary player. Hey, I have no problem playing and being a Cleveland Brown. I'm your guy." Versus the kid, whether or not he's not saying he don't fuck with Cleveland, but he is telling you, "I want to be a Giant." Why am I wasting my why would I waste my pick? It doesn't
Yeah.
make
But
sense.
we saw the video come out last week of him and his dad talking to Antonio Pierce saying, "Now don't get the pick wrong." So like the fact that you guys are making it seem like we have
Well,
absolute
you address this.
concrete evidence.
You address
Let me
this.
finish. Let me
Antonio
finish.
Pierce may not be there.
Let me finish. The fact that you guys are making it seem like we have concrete evidence that Shador went to these teams and said, "Yo, if you draft me, I want to be a Giant." We saw last week they were over there with Vegas and they were like, "Yo, don't get the pick wrong. Make sure you get me." Now the Giants are on his cleats. I think he just wants to go number one. I think
I
it
don't.
doesn't even
You could
matter
be
who's
right.
there. I think he just wants to go number one.
You could be
You might be
right. And
right. You might be
nobody
right.
said that. Nobody said that we know he's saying to these teams one thing or the other. But again, back to the point about Vegas, Antonio Pierce may not be there anymore. And the way that it's trending, they may now know, hey, he's gonna get let go. Then I don't want him to go there without Antonio Pierce. The organization is in even more flux. I don't want to go there no more. So let me
Right.
tell you who I think
I
is
think
better.
Antonio Pierce is there next year. I think
I mean, he might be, he might not be, but I think it's just that, like, when you survey the landscape, you say, okay, these are the two teams or the three teams that seem like they might have the number one pick is Vegas, New
there's
York,
four of them
and Tennessee. It
in
seems like those
Cleveland.
teams, yeah, right. So, but we think Cleveland's quarterback situation may not allow them to draft, and that's why I only said those three. You know, so let's just stick with the three for a second. You know, even though you're right that Cleveland has a legitimate shot, but if you're him and you're looking at these teams, these players in today's leagues, whether it's NFL or NBA, they have more leverage than they've ever had. You know what I mean? And so if you look at the landscape, and like I said earlier, you're saying, okay, this is what they have in Vegas, this is what they have in New York. I think the better situation for me to start my career off on the right foot would be in New York, you know. And so you may say, let me do the things that I can do to leverage the power that I have to make sure I go to New York. You know what I'm
So
saying?
right. So
Now,
why
New
did
York, New York,
why did they tell Vegas not to get the pick wrong last week?
I don't know. It could be
That's what
like
I'm saying. To
maybe
me, I think he just wants to go number one.
it could be that, right? It definitely could be that, but I think at the end of the day, though, I think that he has to do whatever he feels is best for him. If his whole thing is I want to just be the number one overall pick so I can have that on my resume, then he would do the moves like you're saying, where he talks to Vegas, he's wearing the New York cleats and all this other shit, or whatever. Maybe next week he's gonna have on a fucking Eddie George jersey or something. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But you know, at the end of the day, whatever he feels is best for him, he's making the moves to make that happen. You know what I mean?
and things change in the NFL minute week to week. You know, last week it could have been, hey, you know, Antonio feels like I got another year. I'm gonna be able to influence the pick, and he might have got a call this week and said, "Dog, things ain't looking too good because we just got dusted off by Atlanta at home."
Mhm.
You know, things could be different. You never know.
Antonio's fine. Antonio's fine. All right.
He was
Finalists
right. I believe that.
for yeah. Finalists for the modern era Hall of Fame class of 2025 are out. And this is an interesting group of individuals. Looking at it off top, who's not getting in? It's probably easier to say who's not getting in first time. Actually, I don't know, but I'm
Steve
going to
Smith
say
Sr.,
I think Steve Smith Sr., Jared Allen,
Jared
uh,
Allen might. Jared,
Jared
I
Allen might
wouldn't.
get in there.
He might get in. They love
as a
him.
first ballot.
They love Jared Allen,
They
yo.
love Jared Allen.
They
Who?
love that motherfucker.
Let's do this. Jared Allen or Luke Kuechly?
Kuechly should not
Jared
get
Allen.
in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Kuechly shouldn't get in my opinion.
All right. Torrey Holt's been waiting for a while. So you think Steve Smith Sr. or Torrey Holt?
Torrey
Holt.
Holt for sure.
Okay. Torrey Holt or Reggie Wayne?
Reggie Wayne.
Reggie Wayne.
Oh
Okay.
no, but between those two, shit.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, that's a tough one because it seems like whatever they don't like about Torrey Holt seemingly lasts forever.
I think Torrey Holt is getting he's getting the you were just
Too
part
long.
of something. You were part of this great team. You know what I mean? Like you were not that guy. And I think that might plague Reggie Wayne a little bit because he was in
Absolutely.
the shadow of Marvin Harrison for a long time, and you had
Absolutely.
Peyton Manning. Like I think that might hurt him a little bit.
I would have to go Holt over Reggie Wayne for that very reason you just said. What you just said.
So I think the problem for us is that we don't know because they can let in as many as they want, and we typically
Right.
see anywhere from like between 4 to like 7, and 7 is usually high. It's usually more like 4 to 6.
4 to
And
6.
you know, but you do have those years every now and then where they'll let 7 in. And so I think the first things you have to do before you start cutting folks off is you have to kind of guess what you think the number is going to be. So like if they are letting in 5, in my opinion, there are 3 on the list that are going to be first ballot, and those people to me are Vinatieri, Antonio Gates, and Eli Manning. I know you guys had some disagreements with me when we talked a little bit in chat, but for me, those are my 3 that are like shoe-ins
Locked in.
for getting in, and then figuring out the other 2. If I'm thinking there's only going to be 5, is where it gets tough. You know what I mean? Like now, you guys may have a different 3 that you think are like shoe-ins, and then fit, but still at the same time, whoever your 3 shoe-ins are that might be different from mine, you still come to the problem of who the fuck are going to be the other 2 if it's only going to be 5. You know what I'm saying?
Great point.
I think Vinatieri gets in.
Has to. One of the best kickers of all time.
I agree with you. I guess on Antonio Gates.
I don't.
He's got the most catches as a tight end ever, right? I think he's got the
No.
most catches.
I don't know about catches. I know he's up there for sure. He's top 3.
I'm looking it up.
To 5 in like damn near every category. I don't know about, you might be right about the receptions. I'm not sure. But I just think he's a stat guy, and I don't really see the voters being in love
He's
with
got
him.
the most touchdowns. Most touchdowns as a tight end, 116. Most receiving yard. Oh, that's Chargers.
Yeah, he's like 3rd on receiving yards.
Yeah, so it's just touchdowns. 116 touchdowns.
And Vinatieri is one of the best.
I got the most receiving yards too. Oh no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
He doesn't. I know that for sure.
Yeah,
Tony Gonzalez still got that. Vinatieri is one of the best quarterbacks. I mean, kickers ever, rather. And Eli Manning. Jared Allen, his numbers are crazy, and I never knew it. And they love him. So I could see, if it was a battle of stats and just who they love, I could see Allen before Gates. If I'm looking at the voters' perspective.
My thing is, we've seen historically that they always try to include non-skill players, right? Meaning skill players, meaning receiver, wide receiver, running back, right? So to Vari's point, if we're saying, let's just say 6, right? That means either Marshall Yanda or some of these or one of these, I think it's Yanda, gets in over these other 2 as O linemen. I don't think you can count out Terrell Suggs, yo.
You can't. I don't think you can either. You can't.
You can't. And I think Super Bowl wins plays a part in this. I think Evans is the only offensive lineman. No, Yanda and Evans are the only 2. I know Yanda has a Super Bowl, and I think Evans has a Super Bowl.
I think Evans on with Drew Brees.
Yeah. And for me, EJ, that's what like for me, I did my 3, but if it's just 5 for me, I have Suggs in my 5. And that's what makes me say Jared Allen is a no, is because I'm thinking his stats and he has a chip.
Fred Taylor need to just go ahead and sit this one out.
Yeah, but Jared Allen, the other reason I think they're gonna pick him, and I think they would pick Suggs too, but they've all but already said, if you ever listen to them anytime they interview Jared Allen, they've all but already said he's getting the gold jacket immediately. And his numbers are crazy. I didn't know that they were that good. So I mean, I would probably say Vinatieri, Manning, Suggs, Allen, and maybe Holt as the last one for me.
Yeah. Taylor can sit this one out. I think Woodson can sit this one out. Like, I don't think they have any danger of winning. Eli's going to get in. That's going to be Eli's lucky. I think Eli's lucky. He's in this class. I think he's lucky to be in this class, but he's going to get in. Do you guys think Eli belongs in first ballot?
I think he belongs in. I don't know if he's first ballot. I think he will be first ballot, but I don't think he should be. But I think he will get in.
I'm pretty sure Eli Manning has the most interceptions in history, like career history.
That's crazy. Like
He does have 2 Super Bowls though.
It's crazy how time. They don't feel like he's been out 5 years, but I guess he has since he's eligible this year.
I like Eli Manning more as a person outside of the NFL than I did as a player.
I agree.
Like, I like watching the Manning cast.
Yeah, absolutely. But when you look at the criteria, right? The at least the base criteria. Did he win? Does he have the Super Bowls? He's a quarterback. Didn't miss a lot of games. And then the last name, that's
and then you think about a quarterback, right? I'm pulling up Eli Manning's stats now, but I'm assuming for a quarterback, they probably want something like 55,000 plus yards or something like that. I'm pretty sure Eli has that.
He's got
Certain
that.
number of touchdowns, pretty sure he has that or whatever. And then he got 2 rings. And so I think that that's enough to get him in, you know. Yeah, so I'm looking, he has 57,000 yards, 366 touchdowns, 244 interceptions. Looking at his games, he in his first season he only played 9 games, and every season after he played all 16 games except for 2, which was in 2017 where he only played 15, and then his final year where he only played 4 games and they benched him to move on or whatever. But other than that, he's essentially played every single game his whole career. Averaged about 3,000 yards per season. You know what I mean? So I think that's enough for him to get in. A completion percentage, career 60% completion
60%,
percentage.
yeah.
You know, QBR, they don't have the average QBR for his career, but you know, I think he's done enough to get in. 55,000 plus, 350 touchdowns plus, 2 rings. That's enough to be a first ballot.
Especially 2 rings in the Tom Brady era.
Yeah,
right. I
So
think it's and I think it's
both
not even
rings
just
were
the
against
Tom
him.
Brady. It's against. Yeah, I don't even think it's just
Both
the era. I
were
think it's
against
that
him.
they beat Tom Brady. Not only that, he beat the undefeated team.
undefeated Tom Brady.
Yeah,
Yeah, he beat them.
I'm more surprised that Luke Kuechly is in there.
that's
I
the media.
understand
They love
yeah,
the way that you're saying they love Allen. I didn't
They
realize the
love
hype for
Kuechly.
Allen was like that. They fucking love Kuechly. You know,
yeah,
they look at it like, oh,
yeah.
career cut short. Oh, if he had stayed, oh my god, blah blah blah. And it's like, nah, he didn't do enough to even be on this fucking.
I can't even believe he's in consideration. I
Yeah,
mean,
and what's
amongst
crazy
all
to
these
me
people.
is, for me, I don't think he gets in now. I don't think he's done enough to be a first ballot. I don't think he's done enough to get in, period. But if he gets in as a Dolphins fan, seeing how they did
Zach
Zach
Thomas.
Thomas, oh
Exactly.
my man,
You beat me to it. I was gonna say the way that they treated Zach Thomas, who is top 3 in all-time tackles for a linebacker. There's no way this guy Kuechly should be in the conversation. There's no
Yeah.
way. They're literally the same player, and Zach Thomas got way more tackles.
Exactly. If him getting in is them projecting what they think would have happened in the future. And you can't do that for the Hall of Fame. You're talking about what was actually done, not what I think would have been done if he had played longer.
They are the same player. Luke Kuechly had 7. He was a 7-time Pro Bowler, 5-time first team All Pro, 2-time second team All Pro. Zach Thomas was a 7-time Pro Bowl, 5-time first team All Pro, 2-time second team All Pro.
But way
Same
more
person.
tackles. Way more tackles.
Right.
And I think Fred Taylor definitely should get in at some point.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know
if you look
this
at
list though.
yeah, if you look at the criteria of running backs that have got in before him, he's in that top 20 of all time numbers that, you know, he deserves a spot at some point, especially playing for shitty ass Jacksonville as long as he did.
The problem for Fred Taylor is that every year you keep having more guys that they feel like we got to let this dude in. You know what I mean? He keeps running up against that with all these like greats that we've had retired over the last decade. And so he keeps getting, maybe next year because, man, we got to get in T Suggs. We got to get in Vinatieri. We're only doing 5 and we got like 4 we got to get in. And then we have all these other guys who are on the bubble for being number 5. And we'll get Taylor next year. You know what I'm saying? I think that's screwing him up.
Absolutely. And the problem is, like we've always said, it's the writers who really shouldn't even be involved. I mean, you know, there are other people that have votes, but a lot of them are writers. They really shouldn't even be involved in this process because, you know, this type of thing and this induction means so much to these players and everything that they put on the line to be decided by these guys who are just going off of who they like and who was likable, who gave them the best interviews and who sent them Christmas presents. It's unfair to them.
And EJ, I'm glad you made that point because I want to piggyback on it. We all said Steve Smith no, but Steve Smith now works in the media with these guys. And who's to say what his relationship is now, where they see the numbers for the NFL and it's kind of like, but I really like that guy when we meet like at the games when he's doing, you know, Thursday
Zach
night.
Thomas still isn't in, right?
No, he's in. He got in.
No, he got in. Finally
Oh,
got
okay.
in.
Yeah.
I was about to say. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
I
got
mean,
way
shit.
better numbers than Kuechly.
I mean,
Way
shit.
better
How much
numbers.
longer did he have to go? But yeah, VP, you got a good point. I still think that they still don't like him, even as media. But I get your point though.
Yeah,
You know why Zach Thomas ain't get in? Because he was a 5th-round pick. That's not a valid reason. But they
right.
looked at, because when you compare him to Urlacher, he beats Urlacher in
Every
almost every
category,
Yep.
category.
every
Me and EJ
category,
talked
except
about
for
that.
interceptions.
Me
The
and EJ
only
talked
thing
about that
Urlacher
every
got over
time.
him is interceptions.
Yep.
And Urlacher but he was a 1st-round pick, and I think that's part of it. All right, my five, right, or 6?
It depends on you. I mean, they usually do between 4 to 7, but typically it's usually 5 is about average.
I got Vinatieri Manning, unfortunately. Gates gets in, Suggs gets in. That's 4.
Hmm.
Ooh,
Hmm.
I think. Ooh, see,
Hmm.
You can
Hmm.
get. I feel like all of us can get the 4 easy. And that bubble pick is
yeah,
that like, damn. I'm
they're gonna
looking at
let.
the teams like,
They,
man.
I think they're gonna let Yonda in. I think they're gonna let him in because they want an O lineman. So that's 5, and then I think it comes between Jared Allen and then one of the 2 receivers. And if it's White, it's right. So I'm gonna go Jared Allen.
Hmm.
I think they let Yonder wait until Joe Flacco might go in, being that was his center. Um, I don't know. He's got the rings. I don't know that they care about him too much to do it, especially over Evans. I don't know. And Will Anderson, I mean, he's one of those guys. He's one of those Orlando Brown, staples at left tackle that people loved. I mean, so I could see that happening. I just don't know in
They
this
just
class.
suck though. They suck.
Yeah. And in this
Or,
class, I got Allen. Allen being that last guy that never won anything. I'm telling you, they've all but already said this motherfucker's in. Every time they've
yeah.
ever interviewed him, they've literally said it to like no end. It's crazy how much they love
For
this dude.
for me, my 5 were Vinatieri, Manning, Gates, Suggs, and then for my 5th, I had Yonda because I agree with Steve that I think they're gonna want to get an O lineman in. But now, like listening to you guys talk about like the media hype around Allen that I wasn't aware of, it's making me question that whether if it was only going to be 5, would it be Yonda versus Allen? You know what I'm saying? So I guess I would say maybe they do 6, and then I would have Yonda and Allen. You know what I'm saying? But I think, but if it's only 5, and y'all is talking the way y'all talking about Allen, I would say no to Yonda and yes to Allen for my 5th.
Yeah, I don't know Allen's numbers off the top of my head, but I mean
Jared
he
Allen had 136 sacks in his career.
Woo.
and where does that
Uh,
rank?
I'd have to look at it, but he had 136. He led the league twice. One year he had 22.
I think he was a
Um,
defensive MVP once too.
yeah,
Yeah, he did in
he
defense
was.
player of the year.
Um, 500 solo tackle, 640 coming. What
His
else?
numbers are crazy. His numbers are crazy, yo.
Yeah, I'm
I,
looking here.
171
500.
tackle for losses. Yeah.
Mhm.
And really, if you look at his
What I'm seeing
numbers,
here, Steve, I see 136 sacks, not 100 and whatever you said. Or did you say
that's what I
136?
said. Yeah,
Oh, my
136.
bad.
I said
Sorry.
171 tackle for loss
Got you.
and
Okay.
145. But he had 503 solo tackles.
and he's
620.
always been and that's the other thing too, his peers. He's always been on the NFL top 100 list, from when they started doing it from the peers. His peers he's always gotten that acclaim from his peers. He's
Yeah,
always been
I'm
one of those guys.
I'm looking at this. He's getting in. I just pulled it up on my end, and
He
I mean, and
defensive
he
rookie
looks
of the
like
year.
vintage.
Actually, he got defensive player of the year twice. No, twice.
I believe so. At least once, I know for sure.
And he has 4 touchdowns.
Oh no, he finished second behind Terrell Suggs one year.
They put him in
And then
they put him
he
in at
finished fifth.
receiver. He has 2. He has two career receptions in 4 touchdowns. How the fuck do you have 2 career? Maybe they ran it with him.
Yeah.
No, it don't say
or
it.
he
I
scooped,
don't see any rush.
or he scooped and scored some.
It could,
Yeah.
it could be.
6 interceptions, 1 interception touchdown.
There it is.
Yeah.
32 forced fumbles.
He has
Yeah,
2
he's getting
receiving touchdowns, 2 receiving touchdowns, and then 2 defensive touchdowns.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
he's
was a
getting
bad boy. He was a
Yeah.
bad boy. He was on those Minnesota teams where he was getting busy. He was always a problem. He was one of those guys like, damn, why can't we
Yeah.
block this guy? And you just never really gave him his flowers.
The thing is, he played really well when he was with Kansas City. We just didn't know who Kansas City was because I want to say that was the Larry Johnson years, 04 through 07.
Yep.
Like that team was ass.
Mhm.
Like
No, yeah, I remember when he was on that team, and then Minnesota got him for big money. I mean, yeah, he was
his
a
Even
bad
last
boy.
year,
those KC
in KC, he
years,
had 15 and a half sacks and 19
that's what I was
tackles
just
for
about to
loss.
say. KC year, rookie year, 9 sacks. Second year, 11. Next year, 7.5. Last year in KC, 15 and a half. And then he goes to Minnesota, 14 and a half, 14 and a half, 11, 22, 12. Yeah, he's getting in, man. This dude was a
Yeah.
beast. I didn't realize.
Yeah, he's a bad boy, and they love him, they always love him
Yeah.
personality
He always
wise.
had the cowboy
But he's a
hats
bad
and
boy.
shit like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So if we're doing 5, I think my original 3 that I said, and then I would have to say Suggs and Allen.
Yeah,
And if they're gonna do 6, they'll add Yonda will be in as well.
What about
and
Gates?
it's tough.
Gates is the original 3, right?
Gates is my
Top
original 3, my
Okay.
top.
It, it,
And
and it's
looking at
tough.
Allen, I guess I would say now I would amend that and say there's 4 shoe-ins, which I would say Vinatieri, Manning, Gates, and Allen.
Yeah.
And then my bubble, if they're depending on if they're 5 or 6, would be between Suggs and Yonda.
I don't think Yonda will get in over, but again, it's
not
tough
over
for O
Suggs.
line.
But if they
tough
want
for
O
O-line.
line, yeah, I know.
It's tough for O line though, because what are your measurables? You know what I mean? They
It's usually
didn't
like sacks,
pressures but
yeah.
all of this shit isn't stuff that they really captured at the height of Anderson's career, or all of so it's like it's tough. Do you look at that versus a guy that has a number of sacks, or Torrey Holt that has a hella amount of yards and yak and all of this stuff? So I mean, it's tough, man. It's tough. It's
Yeah.
tough.
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. Vinatieri, Manning, Gates, Allen, Suggs are probably my 5. They may go 6 with these names. I think they have to go 6, yo.
Yeah,
I think
so too.
I think they have to go 6, and then even 6, you still kind of like fuck, because really Steve Smith could get in, Reggie Wayne could get in, Torrey Holt could get in. This would
Which
be Steve
Allen is
Smith's
that from
first
the
ballot, right? So maybe
Eagles?
not.
Which Allen is that from the Eagles?
Eric Allen.
Eric Allen. Okay.
Yeah. Torrey Holt. Damn, Torrey Holt got 13,000 yards.
Yeah, his numbers are crazy. His numbers are crazy.
74
I remember
touchdowns.
the year Marino got in, they let in 7. So maybe we're going to see a year like that, because this list it's a lot, man. It's a lot, and to like it was like, what it reminds me of, that I think it was like 2 years ago, like with TV with the Emmys, and I remember I was like, man, whoever got to pick who won like best actor, Jesus, because you had like all these Succession, The Last of Us, we had Shogun, you had all these shows that were on that was like, who's gonna win this shit? You know what I'm saying? Because it was just so much TV out there. So like I feel like you might have the situation with the Hall of Fame.
The thing about these potentials too, 7 out of these guys are in the top 20 of all time stats.
Yeah.
So you talking about it's only 19 other people better than them in anything else.
And those guys are probably in already, unless they're active.
Exactly.
Dog, Steve Smith got 14,000 yards.
Damn.
And 81 touchdowns. Steve Smith got a better career number wise than Torrey Holt.
I didn't realize that. Yeah. So yeah, this is gonna be tough, man. So they might have to let in 7 this year, and then But I still, even if they let in 7, I think Fred Taylor's still gonna be an outside looking in.
Yeah, it's so tough for him as a running back, yo. It's so tough for him as a running back. They
Yeah.
gonna have to get him in before they get some of the running backs younger than him, though,
Yeah,
because he's high up there on that list. He's like 19 for 20 all
yeah.
time.
I wouldn't be shocked if I don't think it's gonna happen, but I wouldn't be shocked if Fred Taylor, because I don't know how many years it is, but there's a certain amount of years once you pass it, you get out of what they consider the modern class, and then you go for like
Veteran.
the veteran group or whatever. And he might have a better shot getting in through that
Probably
veteran
do.
group. And also remember, I think this is just the list for modern class. I don't think they released the veteran group. So even if they let in 7, it might only be 5 from the modern class and then 2 from the veteran joints. You know,
Right.
so man, this is gonna be tough.
I'm surprised Eric Allen ain't on
Eric
the
Allen got
veteran list.
he got 54 touch. I don't think he gets in this time.
He's got some
Or
numbers
54
though.
interception.
Yeah,
54 interceptions, 8
that's high.
touchdowns.
That's high on the DB list. 55 is high. It's top 20, I believe. Just going off top.
Yeah, 14 years in the league.
Because I think Dion don't have that many intos, I don't think.
Oh, good point. Deion Sanders has 50. I'm sorry. Deion Sanders has 53. He's one less.
Like I said,
One
I
less
don't know why.
interception.
I don't know why I retain this type of information, but I do. But Dion's in. I mean, Dion was all world. He did everything. But
Right.
Eric Allen was fucking shut down corner. And you talking about Revis? I know Revis ain't got that many intos. So again, what is the
Don't forget,
criteria?
Deion also has 60 receptions for 784 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Oh,
Like there's
Dion's different. Just
yeah,
Dion's different.
yeah,
Because every time he touched the ball, it was a score. Whereas somebody
pretty
like Eric
much.
Allen or Darrell Revis, it'll be a turnover. But Dion was offense on defense. But
Ooh.
Eric Allen, when you compare to Darrell Revis, Eric Allen
Is
has a
Revis
better
first
career.
ballot?
He got in the first time, I believe. Yeah,
Revis is in?
yeah,
Yeah,
Ain't Revis in?
yeah. First ballot. It was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Trash.
That's what I said. Because he got the one Super Bowl with the fucking Patriots.
Oh, that's right. I mean, Revis. I mean, he coined the name Revis Island, and Revis Island was or Revis Island. Revis was what's his face before he was Kirk Cousins before Kirk Cousins.
Yeah,
Like Kirk
for
Cousins
sure.
is a stick, man. Between him, dog. I need his agent.
Eric Allen has a hell of an argument to get in. Hell of an
Mhm.
argument. This is tough. This is gonna be
This is a
tough.
tough one. This is a tough
Yeah.
one. And we didn't even look at Reggie Wayne.
Yeah.
Reggie Wayne numbers got to be crazy.
So
too.
Reggie Wayne compared to the other 2 wide receivers we just looked at, Reggie Wayne that is not Reggie Wayne, that's Reggie White. I'm like, damn, he got all them damn sacks. Reggie Wayne got 14,000 yards too, dog. 14,345, 82 touchdowns. Yeah. Oof.
I told you. And we ain't even giving Woodson. Woodson was offense on defense too.
Yeah,
Darren.
Darren Woodson. Yeah, he's outside looking in.
Yeah.
I looked at him briefly. He had 23 interceptions. Yeah, he wasn't. I like Woodson, but he's gonna have to wait till he's a veteran.
Mm-hmm.
In my personal opinion, even though he's a Cowboy.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting to see who gets in. But I think we're on track with a few of them. I think it gets real tricky after that, and really for the voters, are they going to be like, oh, we got to cap this?
Mm-hmm.
And if they cap it, then you're gonna upset some fan bases for sure. Like the Panthers are gonna be upset if Kuechly don't get in first ballot. I think Jared Allen gets in, but Minnesota, they will probably burn the city down if he don't get in. Steve Smith's fans, I would be upset. Like now looking at his numbers and shit.
Hey.
Reggie Wayne, I'm mad now. 14,000 yards.
Steve, We got breaking news. The Lakers have agreed to trade D'Angelo Russell, Maxwell Lewis, and 3 second-round picks to the Brooklyn
Jimmy
Nets
Butler.
for Dorian Finney-Smith and Shake Milton, according to Shams.
Wait, what?
Lakers have agreed to send D'Angelo Russell, Maxwell Lewis, and 3 second-round picks to the Nets for Dorian Finney-Smith and Shake Milton.
Dog.
Yo, D'Angelo Russell, you gotta be fucking mad if you're this guy, yo. Like again with this shit, like
Yeah, for real.
y'all sending me again, like what
And he was
like,
already
what are
with
we
Brooklyn,
doing?
wasn't he?
Yes.
Yep.
Yo.
Damn, I like Shake Milton, but I don't know if he's worth like Lakers just don't value their draft picks, yo.
The Bleacher Report put out showing his journey. It says D'Lo NBA's journey has been wild. Drafted by the Lakers as number 2 pick, traded to the Knicks, traded to the Warriors, traded to the T-Wolves, traded back to the Lakers, traded back to the Nets.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, again with this
But
shit.
you know what?
Bro?
He's also he's a knucklehead, yo. And
Yeah.
since you're always a knucklehead, then you're gonna continue to deal with it. They thought he matured when they brought him back to the Lakers, and it seemed like he did, but it looked like he's back to his old shenanigans because he's getting shadowed by them young white boys, Reeves and Connect.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
still, Finney Smith is OG. He's older at this point, and Milton is young and he's nice, but I don't think he's worth all of that. I
I
mean,
don't see him fitting in LA. I don't see how that fits.
He's a scorer. He get busy.
But
Milton get busy.
they need a two-way guy, right?
Yeah, I don't see why they would go get another guard, yo. Like maybe they're trying to get Reeves off a point. Maybe they're trying to run him at the 2. Have Milton run the 1, him at the 2, Bron hybrid 3 probably. Fuck.
Front court is where I thought they were shaky.
Yeah, they need some bigs, yo.
They still might make a move,
especially since AD always hurt.
I think they might make a move. I mean, Mitchell Robinson is one of those guys. I think the Knicks should probably move. They might. I always envision him in LA.
I thought Mitchell Robinson was off the Knicks.
Nah, he's still there. He's just hurt.
Oh,
is he?
I thought y'all did a trade with him like that last. I thought he was part of the Julius Randle trade.
We only sent.
Oh yeah, he's still a Knick. Oh, that's right. It was the other black dude. What's the other power forward that they got?
Who
from them?
We sent Julius and DiVincenzo.
No, but you also sent what's his face? The other black dude, the light skin rebounder for y'all last year.
We still got Sims.
No.
I can't think. I know Devo. I know Devo and DiVincenzo. You might be right. I can't think of the third person, but if there was,
Hartenstein, Isaiah Hartenstein.
Oh, but no, Hartenstein. We lost him in free agency. He went to OKC.
That's right.
He went to OKC. Yeah. So
damn, y'all lost some niggas, some dudes that's balling. RJ Barrett.
RJ is cooking right now. Yeah, we traded him for OG though, but OG, I feel like we won that trade because ever since we've gotten OG, we won 20-something games straight. I mean, he kicks it in.
Yo, if the Knicks had kept that 2023 roster somewhat intact, and man, Obi is playing well.
I think OG is better.
Cam Reddish ain't really doing shit. Randall's playing well. Quickly was doing well before he got hurt. Hartenstein. Damn, RJ balling.
The production we got back, Cam Reddish, we got Jalen Brunson, and
no, you had Brunson last year.
No, I'm saying with the Cam Reddish trade, we were able to make other moves. I forget who I'm talking about, but I think the core we got now, we're getting a lot of production from. and that's why I think Mitchell Robinson is probably on his way out because Big Cat can play, and then we got Sims, and then we got the German kid Porty who gives good minutes, and Mitchell Robinson, while he's good, he just never available. He's
I'd
never
like to see
available.
Robinson on the court with Big Cat. I'd love to see that. Just before y'all move him, if y'all have the opportunity, I would like to see that because I think that lets Cat be a little bit more of what he wants to be. He's been rebounding his ass off, but he wants to shoot. So if you can actually get all of what you were planning to get out of Big Cat by having Mitchell Robinson out there, I think he's even more valuable for y'all.
It may
Um,
be a repeat of Gobert and him though, just eating up space. They like him and Gobert play the same kind of ball.
it's true. Just Gobert is egotistical though. That's the thing.
Right.
Like, VP, you think you guys get rid of Jimmy Butler? I know he has to be gone, but you guys think you get rid of him?
Pat said this week that he's not trading him. So
I did. I saw that.
that's, I mean, he could be posturing, you know what I mean? But I'm thinking he's probably not trading him,
You
just
think he's
based
trying
on,
to build? Think he's trying to build value? He's off the
I mean,
market because he's our marquee guy. So somebody
yeah,
comes and gives him some extra.
it could be, but yeah, I mean, if we take him at his word, it don't seem like it, but we definitely gonna lose him. And I think
But
that's part of
but
the
I,
problem with the trade is that, if you trade him, you got to trade him to somewhere that wants him because nobody's going to trade for a guy who's going into free agency unless they know he's going to sign long term.
all right.
And I don't think we can sign Jimmy long term because he has an availability issue. I mean, shit, he's missed the last 2 games,
Yeah,
now. So I don't know if he's actually hurt or maybe he got something done and then he is something he could play through, but he's not because he wants to be traded. So who knows? It could be posturing on both ends, but
if
I'm
I'm
just not.
Miami, I'm not dumping any more money into Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, I'm not either. I think the
I
best
won't.
option would be to trade him, but he was rumored that the Lakers were interested, and now they've made this trade today. I'm not sure that they trade for Jimmy Butler, so I don't know.
I could still see that happening. He said he wanted to go to Golden State, the Lakers, Dallas, and Houston. Those were the four he said he wanted to go to.
Mhm.
If I'm the Heat, I'm fielding offers from Houston because they got some great young talent. Um, Dallas don't really have much to send unless they're sending over like Derek Lively or something. That'd be great for you guys because you need a big guy.
Well,
Um,
then I'm fielding offers for anybody just because Jimmy Butler doesn't have a no trade. We can send him anywhere. It's just
right,
who's going
but the
to.
point you just made, right, is the point you made. Who's going to give anything valuable in any
Yeah,
way for a guy who says I want to be over here? You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like you said, going into free agency. So those would be the four. If I was Pat, I would. I mean, I'd field it from anyone, but I don't like you said. I don't think you know. I would like Orlando to make a move at the deadline without getting rid of our core because they're balling
But
and
like
our
let's
two
say
best
you're
guys are hurt.
you're let's say you're Milwaukee, for example, and you're like, you know what? If we get a guy like Jimmy, like we could make a go this year and fuck it. If we win, that's great. We don't gotta resign him. If we lose, if we make a run but we don't win, we don't gotta resign him. You know what I mean? So like it's not a big deal like for a team like that. That's why I'm saying like, offers from whoever's gonna give you the best offer.
That's true. It's just who's are they going to give you something that's attractive for Pat Riley? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Like that's what I think it is. Like if one of those teams that he didn't say he wants to play for. Now, if I'm Jimmy Butler and I sat down and Pat came to me and was like, "Yo, I know you want to go to these places, but Milwaukee asked about you." If I'm Jimmy, I might rethink that and be like, "You know what? Yeah, send me." But do they make room for him with Middleton over there, who EJ hates? Um, Portis over there, like they've got a full locker room, so that could be another thing for Jimmy Butler too. I wouldn't mind seeing Jimmy Butler with the Knicks. I don't see it happening, but
There's no
seeing him
reason.
with the Knicks,
There's no reason. No reason right now. We got a good core group of guys. The other problem is where can Jimmy go and be Jimmy and not fuck up the chemistry?
well, that's the thing. Jimmy's not Jimmy anymore, and that's just like LeBron, right? I think everyone is looking at these guys like they were 2 3 years ago. Like Jimmy was, I think he's had his best days. His best days are behind him, just like
Oh no,
LeBron's best
I
days.
agree. I agree in that sense. I'm talking about
Yeah.
the ego and the other shit that we don't see that might happen in the locker room. I think he can go to LA where LeBron and AD can maybe work with him better than anywhere else, where he's the old guy still thinking he's that guy trying to do that guy shit, and you're not that guy no more.
Yeah.
Jimmy would look good in San Antonio too, with
Yeah.
Chris Paul and Wemby.
But Jimmy also doesn't seem to be a player who views himself as like that guy. Because one of my complaints for years, you guys know, has been like Jimmy takes too
Take the
long
day.
to flip the switch.
Yeah.
Where he's passive in the first half, passing, giving up the ball, and then he tries to turn it on late or whatever. And that could be old age, whatever. Maybe he just doesn't see himself as the guy or whatever. But so I think he would fit anywhere just because he's willing to facilitate. It's like he's willing to do what needs to be done. I guess is what I'm trying to say. If maybe you need me to just do rebounds, maybe you need me to draw fouls. Okay, tonight you need me to score 30. Cool, no problem. So
Maybe you just need me to go out and smash one of the
sideline
broadcasters.
reporters.
Yeah. I'm not mad at him for that. Okay. We went long. Pause. I bet neither one of y'all started the ultimatum neither. Y'all some losers, both of y'all.
The what?
The ultimatum.
This is like a TV
Yo,
show, game or something.
It's a Netflix joint. I'm gonna be honest, Steve. I can't take some of them toxic dating joints. Sometimes,
here we go. Now he in a little relationship. He repeat. Look at him. Babe, I could never watch something like that.
I ain't gonna hold you, yo, because I start going down a rabbit hole, like, like, you know what I mean? Like, see this shit. This is why I don't trust women today. I go down the rabbit hole, yo. I can't do it sometimes. I need a break because I'll be watching fucking like paternity court clips and all type of shit. I'd be like, see, this is why niggas do this. I can't go down that rabbit hole sometimes, yo. I need a break.
No, I haven't started it. I've watched a bunch of shit. I just haven't, what's crazy is that I've been super active, like watching things, and I only can remember like one thing I've watched, even though I've watched a bunch of shit. You know what I'm saying? I got a Squid Game on because I've been holding off on that because she finally watched Squid Game like 3 months ago, and so she was like, so she said she wants to watch it together. So I'm waiting on her. We probably watched the first 1 or 2 episodes tonight.
I haven't watched it. EJ, did you watch Cobra Kai? First half.
I did.
I think they brought it back.
Did you
see? I was gonna say, did you see the trailer for the new movie?
Karate Kid.
Jackie Chan and
Ralph Macchio.
Ralph.
Yeah, and then the
we'll
Karate
see.
Kid is a new actor. It's his first time acting, or his first movie.
I think it goes direct to streaming after week 1.
Well, I don't know, man. This kid, because like the kid who's in it, when he's Asian, and so it's not like it's not like there's not many Asian, just like black actors. You know what I mean? Like so, this could be like the start of a career, or it could be start seeing him in Hallmark Christmas movies. You know what I'm saying?
No, he's gonna be nice, and it hasn't seemingly been a window for those type of martial arts movies in a long time, especially big name joints. Like you haven't seen a Jet Li, the English cat. Can't think of his name right now. It hasn't been many of those martial arts flicks.
Damn, his connection was doing good all this time.
Right.
I know. I saw it give way. Yeah, I don't know. There's been a lane for those movies recently as they have.
I think it's going to do okay because it's going to come off of Cobra Kai. You know what I mean? So all the Cobra Kai is very, very popular. Not only with the old heads, but with the new heads too. So I think it'll do well. Squid Game is on my list to watch, and VP, you should get to Papa's house.
The Jackal. Watch The Jackal on Peacock. Trust me.
The Jackal.
Okay. Trust me.
All right.
Yeah.
Is it something that VP would like because there's
it's
memories?
It's killing. It's espionage.
Oh, okay.
The first episode gonna get you.
Did you ever finish The Penguins, Steve?
No.
God damn it.
This guy.
Sidney Poitier is in that?
And what?
The Jackal?
Nah, that might be an old movie.
Oh, okay.
I was,
I'm like,
I
isn't
was gonna
Sidney
say it must be.
Poitier dead?
I was just about to say it must be Sidney Poitier Jr. because Sidney Poitier is dead.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, this got to be something old. This 1997. There was a Jackal movie. That's what it was.
okay.
Bruce Willis, Richard
With Bruce
Gere,
Willis.
Sidney
hmm
Poitier,
That
Jack
was a good
Black.
movie
Oh
though.
wow, that's a cast right
That was
there.
Mm-hmm.
that was a good movie. That was a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's a cast right there. Damn, I might need to check that out. I've never even heard of it, but I might need to look at it just from the credits.
It was a decent movie. Bruce
Yeah.
Willis was an assassin or something like that, I believe.
Okay.
3.8 out of 5 stars on Google reviews or Rotten Tomatoes.
It
All
was.
right. 6 minutes, Dougie Fresh. And I got to check my lineup again because I've been making some bad moves all week with fantasy, man. After sitting here telling you to start Joe Burrow, I sat him in my other league and he had
Oh,
47 points,
oh
dog.
wow.
Literally 2 minutes before the game started, I was like, nah, I'm going Jaden Daniels. And
Damn.
the worst move I could make. Worst freaking
What?
move. Yeah.
Yeah,
At
so I
least
told you.
Marvin Harrison got me 15 last night, and he'd
When
been
EJ
doing
asked in the
shit.
chat, I was like, "Yo, go Burrow. He's hot." I looked at it. He hadn't the lowest point since week 9 was 24. So
Yeah, yeah. I don't
I
know
was
why.
gonna go with him anyway because he got me to the championship in my other league. So I was like, I'm gonna ride with him anyway. I just wanted y'all affirmation, but I mean, shit, he cooked last night.
yeah.
He made me not regret sitting Mahomes in that league. I wish I started him in our league, but the other league I sat him. But yeah, I'm clearly winning my other league. I just it's a bullshit ass fantasy league. I may not get paid right away and all this bullshit going on.
Oh, I love those. I always
So
win those. I never win the ones where the money is right up front. Always
right.
win the ones where motherfuckers be like, "Oh, I gotta collect from everybody first."
This motherfucker collected. It just seems like he dipped
Oh, he spent
into
it. Christmas shopping came up.
nigga told me January 11th I'm gonna get my money.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, payday.
That's why since I joined this league, I think the first season I paid at the end, and then after I just always pay Steve either at the draft or pre-draft. So that way I'm done. Get me off your
I'm
books.
I would
You know,
never let it go. I'm never letting it go into the playoffs where I ain't gonna pay. And for
yeah,
me, it ain't even just a matter of having it. It just be like it's just one of those things. Like I know I got to do it, but I just don't feel like it. You know what I
yeah,
mean? But one league I'm in, you don't pay until literally the season ends and the championship is done, and you send the guy the money direct, which is cool. That works out too.
I ain't
But
gonna lie. For me, EJ, what it was because back when I first joined, it was back when I could still walk, still drive and stuff. And we had this other cat in our league, Hollywood, who
Mm.
like it's like Steve had to hunt this nigga down for the money, and then at the end of the day, he sent him a check. And I went with Steve because I that we only had one car, so she had the car, so Steve had to drop me home. And he was like going to Amscott to cash the check and all this shit. And Steve was like talking all this shit. And I was like, man, I don't want this nigga talking shit about me, dog. Let me just make sure I pay up front. So
nah, I get it, and I would never let it go. And the other problem too for this year, I only wanted to be in 2 leagues, and I wound up being in this third one that I'm about to win. So that also kind of set me off to where I was just thinking about paying two. But yeah, I this shit here, man, I'm clearly gonna win because I'm up 100 to like 20 something right now.
yeah. Hey
Mm,
EJ,
I
you got
don't
3 minutes. So you better look down at your phone just to make sure you're right for 1 o'clock.
Right.
Oh no, I'm set because he's
Okay.
already lost so many guys. Like he had the kicker Fairbomb. Like
That's who I
he
had.
just
Stupid.
he had a shit ass week this week. Like his quarterback is Bryce Young, and I played a little chess because somebody had released Matt Stafford out of nowhere, and I saw him sitting there, and I'm like, I picked him up just so this guy couldn't get him because he had
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts. He had Jalen Hurts as a quarterback. So I was like, oh yeah, he's not playing. So let me get this guy, Matt Stafford, off him. So he's got Amir Abdullah, Jake Ferguson, Justin Jefferson, Neighbors, and Miami's defense. I still got Drake London, Shakir, Bijan, Jacobs, Kincaid, and Gonzalez is a kicker. I had Seattle's defense gave me 22, Harris gave me 10, Charbonnet gave me 10, and I had Joe Burrow. So I'm up
Yeah,
101 to
Miami
34.
defense is that's not a good role this week because Tua's not going to play, which means the offense is going to suck. Defense is going to be on the field all day, and then they're going to get tired. And so,
Yep.
Yeah. I didn't know if
I'm-
I wanted to go Buffalo or Vegas against New Orleans, but I went with Buffalo against the Jets. Jets
Yeah.
just can't score, yo.
Yeah, that's crazy.
depending on Aaron Rodgers, you're gonna get today.
Yeah, but that's great. That's foul, man. To put you're in a league, and this is the only league I'm in. So, I like the way our league runs. You get paid on time. Like I said, I just every year I either pay Steve at the draft. I mean, shit, the last couple of years I've sent Steve the money before we even drafted or whatever. So that way it's just done. You know what I mean? Because like I said, Steve's like this. I've been hunting this nigga down with the money. He can write me a fucking check. Steve was hot, yo.
Paper check, yo. I haven't wrote a check since I moved to Florida, yo.
EJ Steve was hot, dog. Like he wrote me a fucking check.
That shit is crazy.
And he post dated it, though. That was
and post dated it. That's the thing.
That shit's crazy.
Just say you ain't got it. Just be like, yo, I don't got it.
Yeah, needless to say, I won't be coming back to this league. Now the payout has changed, and it was supposed to be 900, and now it might be 700. Like what?
Look at all that bitching y'all be doing, and like y'all not in the best league with the best commissioner of all time.
Nah, I ain't gonna argue, bro. Our league is top notch with the keepers, with the everything else. I can't even complain, dog. I can't complain.
It's our members is the problem because nobody keeps up with the rules and then act all surprised, like
what?
So and so.
We can make trades,
right? Exactly. Since when could you trade players? All right, dog. You got it. You got it.
I should have traded with you, VP, before Rich did.
Yeah.
I should have. I was going to.
I should have took Rich's trade. I mean, I'm still in the finals, but he tried to give me James Conner, and I didn't take him. And Conner was balling, but now he ain't do shit this week, so he wouldn't help me.
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson killed me versus you last week single-handedly.
I'm hoping that Green Bay Minnesota game is a shootout, because if that's the case, I mean, he has Darnold, but Justin Jefferson will cancel that out.
I think I fucked around and fucked Dave over because I think Sam Darnold's gonna have a shitty day, and he didn't have many options. Yeah, he doesn't have many options at quarterback because I took I got Knicks, I got Murray, and I just had Pat Mahomes. So he's got to go with Darnold, and I don't think Darnold's gonna have a good game.
I hope he doesn't, but then that means Justin Jefferson doesn't. So
right.
Unless, they throw it all the way down there and then Aaron Jones runs it in. That works for me too.
Right.
But
right.
All right. Well, it's kickoff is here, so I'm going to hand the reins to VP to get us out of here so that we could go enjoy some football festivities and some more football festivities. This shit don't even happen just on Sundays no more.
Hey, everybody, we definitely we definitely appreciate you guys for rocking with us on this week's episode of the Castworthy Podcast. Like we always say, make that phone call, send that text message. Reach out to your people, let them know you're thinking about them. You never know what's going on in somebody's life. So definitely check in on your people, shoot them a text and make them a phone call, whatever, just to kind of check in and lift their spirits. They'll love it. You'll feel good about doing it too. Before I continue, I want to send a special shout out to my man EJ's Internet. So we definitely appreciate you this episode. So
we can actually hear him, yo.
Right,
Santa must have brought him some new internet.
So shout out to him. But you can find the podcast on all podcasting platforms by searching Castworthy. You also can follow us on any social media by searching @Castworthy. On Instagram, it's @Castworthy_podcast. While you're there, you can leave a like, subscribe, share, follow, tell a friend, help us grow the audience. We very much appreciate it. For the folks who listen live, we appreciate your time. For the folks who listen when the episode posts, we appreciate that time as well. And with that being said, man, we will see you guys next week in the new year. another fresh episode of the Castworthy Podcast. We out. We love you. Happy holidays to you and yours. Peace.
Peace.